Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. We are live. What's up, Chris? Quite literally nothing. Trying to decide which billionaires I want to convince society are fucking pieces of shit. I know we've already gone with like Trump and Elon Musk, but we got to go harder. I'm like Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen. Let me see Mark Andreessen. Hey, there's this piece of shit. Oh my god, look at him. Bro, he looks like what's his name? Sloth. Bro, you're telling me this guy doesn't look exactly like this? He looks identical. He looks fucking identical. That's wild. That is wild. So that's what I'm going to go with. U.S. Attorney drops case against Ross Baraka. That's good. Oh, they did charge the Congresswoman. After extensive consideration, we have agreed to dismiss Mayor Baraka's misdemeanor charge of trespass for the sake of moving forward. Glad the U.S. Attorney has agreed that this case should be dismissed. I've had strong relationship with prior U.S. attorneys. I plan to speak with the current U.S. Attorney about the issues in which we can cooperate. As to Delaney Hall, I'll continue to advocate for the humane treatment of detainees. Whew. All right, well, that's good at least. UK, France, and Canada threaten sanctions if Israel continues new offensive into Gaza.
Israel has launched an extensive military operation in Gaza.
Trigger warning, genocide. Trigger warning, genocide. Trigger warning, genocide.
Gaza called Gideon's Chariots, it says, to destroy Hamas and free remaining hostages. Hundreds of Palestinians have been killed in a matter of days as a result, officials say, with civilians bearing the brunt.
الهدف الحمد لله أطفال مدنيين فيش عنده أهداف الشهداء كلهم أطفال ونسوان نسوان أطفال رضع فيش أهداف لهم مش عارفين إيش بدهم إياه.
Several airstrikes hit near hospitals, including the last functioning one in northern Gaza. The director of the Indonesian hospital described extremely intense explosions, which severed the connections to ventilators that some patients require to stay alive. CNN has reached out to the Israeli military for comment on the strike. Gideon's Chariots, in reference to a biblical warrior, was launched as international mediators push for progress in indirect ceasefire talks held in the Qatari capital, Doha.
Oh shit, did you guys see this footage?
Video shows a wake behind the Mexican Navy ship that crashed into the Brooklyn Bridge, which confirms what a source with knowledge of the investigation tells CNN, that the ship's propeller was in reverse, pushing it in the wrong direction. But how did we get here? On Saturday, May 17th at approximately 8:20 p.m., the Cuauhtémoc
Very early stream. Hello. International pressure has been building on Israel over its new military offensive in Gaza that has left hundreds dead in the last few days. The leaders of the UK, France, and Canada threatened to take concrete actions on Monday, including targeted sanctions, if Israel does not stop its renewed military offensive. Dude, Israel doesn't give a fuck about your sanctions. The only country that can stop Israel is the United States, and we are never going to stop Israel. We will always be on Israel's side. That's kind of like a given, you know what I'm saying? That's a fucking given. Mic is a little low. I just turned it up a bit. I just turned it up a tad bit. Israel said it will allow a, quote, basic amount of food into the besieged enclave, a move which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hinted was due to intense pressure from allies. And on Monday, the Israeli agency that approves aid shipments into Gaza said 5 trucks had entered the conclave. Yeah, 5 trucks of food for 2.3 million people, that's not going to cut it. I'm frankly certain that these trucks were already being brought into Gaza before this whole genocide started, and it was something between like 60. They needed 60 trucks a day full of aid in order to survive before the genocide. So this is entirely just a public stunt, publicity stunt. What's your thoughts on the newly branded American Communist Party? I don't know anything about the ACP, but I'll take any sort of leftist momentum. That they're allowing minimal aid. This isn't even aid. This is just a way for the public to see, like, see, look, we're giving them 1 piece of pita and a plate of food. See? That's all this is. It's fucking ridiculous. Ugh. Dead of night. Dems accuse the GOP of cowardice over late-night votes on Trump's big, beautiful bill.
House Republicans are trying to jam this reckless and extreme budget down the throats of the American people and hide what's in it, which is why, in an extraordinary way, they are holding a Rules Committee hearing to advance the bill at 1 a.m. in the morning. If this legislation is designed to make life better for the American people, can someone explain to me why they would hold a hearing to advance the bill at 1 a.m. in the morning?
Brother, why are you saying AM in the morning? AM means in the morning, you dumb fuck.
Because the Republicans know that their efforts to take away health care from millions of Americans is deeply unpopular. Republicans know that the effort to enact the largest cut to nutritional assistance in American history,
I did see that avocado. We just covered that before you got in here.
the mouths of children, veterans, and seniors is deeply unpopular. Republicans know that providing their billionaire donors with a massive tax break for people like Elon Musk, and at the same time exploding the deficit by trillions of dollars, is deeply unpopular.
Morning, Blake.
That's why Republicans are going to try to advance this bill in the dead of night at 1 a.m.
In the morning.
Brother! Trump and House Republicans can run away from their extreme budget proposal. We will never let them hide.
Okay.
We got some sad news over the weekend. Former President.
Okay. $38.5 period. That's like fucking 1.2 dead per minute. That's fucking crazy. Israeli warplanes struck several locations, including a school in eastern Gaza City, an abandoned fuel station sheltering displaced families in central Gaza's Nusayrat refugee camp. Brother, last night there were so many fucking helos. I saw 2 little birds. I saw 2 fucking, what are they called? Hueys. And then those troop carriers. So many fucking helos nowadays. Got me tweaked. The attack comes after Israel issued a sweeping evacuation order for civilians in Gaza in preparation for what it said was an unprecedented attack.
With Arab partners on a plan to ensure a reconstructed Gaza no longer run by Hamas. And since Israel restarted strikes on Gaza, this government has demanded Israel change
Thoughts on folks
course.
thinking that Biden having cancer was covered up? They're probably right. My dad died of cancer. You don't just like, at Biden's age, you don't not know that cancer is coming. You know what I'm saying? It was probably on its way. They're probably right. Not only that, the President of the United States gets the best health care on planet Earth. So, they're probably right. Netanyahu has been charged with war crimes, Blake. He has a arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court. He legally can't step foot in other nations, but he comes to the United States because we don't respect the ICC. The United States said that. We no longer recognize the ICC. So there's a couple of nations that just don't recognize it. But yeah, no, he is a war criminal. He has an arrest warrant for the crime of genocide.
Privately, in my conversations with Foreign Minister Saar and Strategic Affairs Minister Dermer, publicly in repeated joint statements with my French and German counterparts, we've made clear that Israel's actions are intolerable. We have raised...
Do you believe propaganda can be used to benefit society, such as growing an understanding of emotional viewpoints and retaining facts? Yes, propaganda is not a bad thing. Never has been. People have a very confused understanding over the word propaganda. All propaganda is news. That's all propaganda is. Now, there are people who spin propaganda in order to increase recruitment levels for the United States military, omitting the truth and, adding on a little bit of fluff. You can also use propaganda to make people better. Propaganda in and of itself is not a bad thing, and it never has been.
Concerns in the UN Security Council and before the International Court of Justice. Yesterday, my honourable friend, the Prime Minister, joined leaders from France and Canada strongly opposing the expansion of Israel's military operations. And the UK...
Exactly, Avocado's got a good point. During COVID, when there were commercials and posts everywhere telling folks to mask up and get vaxxed, that was good propaganda. For example, during COVID, telling people that wearing a mask helps prevent the spread of COVID. That's propaganda. Does it help keep people who are immune deficient, like people who are on chemotherapy, people who have weak immune systems, does it help keep them safer if the majority of the population is wearing a mask during a pandemic? Absolutely. It's overall a good thing. Do you get hurt by wearing a mask? No. Do people get saved by you wearing a mask? Yes.
With 27 partners criticizing Israel's proposed new aid delivery mechanism and defending the essential humanitarian principles of the international system that the UK did so much to establish in the first place. Our message is clear. There is a UN plan ready to deliver aid at scale, needed with mitigations against aid diversion. There are brave humanitarians ready to do their jobs. There are over 9,000 trucks at the border.
Yeah, over 9,000 trucks at the border, and Israel let in 5. They said that each Palestinian can have 1 pita and 1 plate of food. Now, when they say each Palestinian, they mean first come, first served till we run out of fucking food, because we're only letting in 5 trucks. This is a publicity stunt for, Trump and the MAGA rats who are, so unbelievably pro-Israel, but they can't stand to see starving children. That's what this is. It's the equivalent of giving the people in the Warsaw ghetto some fucking bread and stew and being like, see? Everything's fine. They got bread and stew. Meanwhile, they're in a fucking concentration camp. Trump was voted out of office. The Republican Party recover from this. Trump is not a Republican. This is not the Republican Party. The Republican Party is dead. It is gone. It will never come back. The Republican Party died before the Democratic Party did. The Democratic Party is in its death throes right now. Death throes, like when something is dying and it's letting out its last fucking moans. You are watching the the Democratic Party go through that. And you're seeing that. The Democratic polling is dropped significantly. People don't approve of them. People hate Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi, right? But the Republican Party was murdered by MAGA. Typical Republicans want small government intervention. That's not what Trump is doing. Trump created Doge. Trump has been dismantling all of our government institutions. He's been using the power of the executive branch as if it's royal decrees from God, So, no, the Republican Party will never make it back from this because the Republican Party died in 2020. It died when they all started to pick up Trump forever, Trump forever, Trump forever. Hello? Hello? Yeah, you're not calling from Amazon, bitch. Let's be so fucking for real. If you were calling from Amazon, you probably wouldn't have been a person. You would have been AI. You would have been AI. The fact that they want to expel Hogg from the DNC for actually attempting to primary ineffective Democrats and try to actually change things should make it clear who they serve. That's my point. The Democratic Party is realizing that we're common. The leftist momentum is palpable. It is our time. This century of American politics belongs to the radicals on the right and the radicals on the left. The idea of this tit for tat, first we're going to do 4 years with the Republican and then 4 years with the Democrat. We're going to swap the Senate. We're going to swap the Congress, doing that back and forth, and nothing ever fucking changed except for the establishment of neoliberalism and offshoring our fucking manufacturers. After nearly 100 years of this bullshit, the radicals are out to play. The radical right won the election. What do you think? This is a moderate right-wing regime? These are far-right authoritarian fascists. If you want to tack back, you got to tack all the way to the fucking left. We got $5 for the propaganda fund. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. $5 for the propaganda fund. It's going to go right into the propaganda bank. We have performative bullshit from Cory Booker staging filibusters and sit-ins, which I guess is better than doing nothing. It isn't better than doing nothing. It's the same thing as doing nothing. Will Netanyahu ever face justice? No. I know he has a warrant over him, but is there anything we can do as long as he doesn't leave Israel? No. Benjamin Netanyahu will never face justice. Neither will Donald Trump. Justice for both Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu would be behind prison bars. That will never happen. You live on Earth. You live in an extremely cruel existence. There is no justice for the rich. That's the world that our parents and our grandparents created. Never in a million fucking years will Donald Trump or Benjamin Netanyahu face any sort of consequences for their actions. Never. Never. You want to know how I know that? Because Hitler's right-hand men died happy in Argentina of old age with their right hands on a fat Brazilian ass. That's how the top-ranking Nazi officials died. And you think what? You think Benjamin Netanyahu is going to get thrown in prison? Hitler didn't even face consequences. Hitler himself. Even as an Australian with far more socialist policies, I think even my nation needs more tax reforms against the Chinese and American companies in my country. Yeah, well, I mean, I can't speak on the Chinese companies in your country, but I can tell you that the American companies over there are just utilizing your land. That's it. There's never in human history been justice for the elite and rich. Yep. You've got that right. Some things never fucking change.
Prime Minister Netanyahu, end this blockade now and let the aid in. Regrettably, Madam Deputy Speaker, despite our efforts, this Israeli government's egregious actions and rhetoric have continued. They are isolating Israel from its friends and partners around the world, undermining the interests of the Israeli people, and damaging the image of the State of Israel in the eyes of the world. I find this deeply painful as a lifelong friend of Israel and a believer in the values that were expressed in its Declaration of Independence.
Shut the fuck up.
As the Prime Minister and fellow leaders said yesterday, we cannot stand by in the face of this new deterioration. It is incompatible with the principle.
I'm not going to lie. Hudson says Nazis fleeing to South America wasn't even the most egregious thing. It was the American military hiring Nazi scientists after the war. I'm not going to lie. I don't think that was a bad decision. Was it immoral? Absolutely. But if the United States did not welcome those Nazi scientists into the United States, the Soviets would have taken them. And in this space race, in this arms race, in this nuclear race, it wasn't a competition of America versus the Soviets. It was whose German scientists were better? Whose Nazis were better? Was it the American Nazis or the Russian Nazis? That was the space race. That's it. So, was it immoral to welcome people like Wernher von Braun into the United States of America? Absolutely, it was immoral. Did it get us to the fucking moon before the Soviets? Yeah. Yeah, it did. It's weird. It's weird. It's really weird. Do you think the war in Gaza, it's not a war, it's a genocide. Do you think the genocide will ever end as long as Russia supports Iran, which allows Iran to support the conflict, the same way Israel cannot continue their conflict without the USA and others? Excuse me. Yeah, I don't think Russia's support for Iran has much to do with Israel's genocide on the Palestinians. I understand that Hamas is funded by Iran, and Iran is quote-unquote funded by Russia, but Iran doesn't need Russia's funding. Iran doesn't need Russia. Do you think even if the far left won, how long would America be equal into loops again after FDR and Teddy's era? Just after FDR and Teddy's era? Loops again? I don't know what you mean. If you're saying, like, how long will it take for America to come back from Trump? I was just in a meeting with a couple of New York Times columnists and economists. We were talking about this. It's going to take at least 10 years to undo everything Trump has done in 100 days. The damage that Trump has done in the past 100 days will take 6 to 10 years to undo, especially because you're going to have liberals standing in the way. Liberals are going to not want to put back all of the things that Doge got rid of, because at the end of the day, a lot of these Democrat politicians are going to profit from the Doge cuts. And neoliberalism is not about progressive values. It's about maintaining the status quo and lining your fucking pockets while getting these dumbass motherfuckers to cheer for you. Kamala, we love you. Oh my God, it's brat era. You dumb motherfuckers. That bitch wants to fund a genocide. It's giving brat era. Fucking go to Starbucks and never vote again, bitch. It's giving. It's giving. That is a genocide-aire. That is a genocide-aire that you are fucking snapping for, you fucking losers. Oh my God. Now fucking 38% of Democrats polled want Kamala to run again in 2028. Do you know how fucking stupid you gotta be to want that? Neither side was safe to vote for. No, voting for Kamala was the better choice over voting for Trump. The thing is, if you are voting solely based off of your stance on the Israel-Gaza genocide, you have nobody to vote for, because every single American politician is an ideological Zionist. All the way up to Bernie fucking Sanders, bro. If the genocide in Palestine as an American citizen is your red line for voting, you can't vote. There's no one for you to vote for. Nobody. I still support capitalism, of course, just a more regulated one. I don't support capitalism. I think that capitalism has led to every single problem that we have in our society. You are in the late stage of capitalism. What about the Green Party? The Green Party, I believe, is controlled opposition put together by both the Democrats and the Republicans as a way to pull votes away from the both sides, make it easier for them to win. Just want to promote a sick leftist metal band, Empty Graves. Check out their song Dog Pills to start. I'll check them out. I will get copyright striked if I do that on stream, though. But thank you for the $10 donation, brother. Maybe I could play like 10 seconds of the song. Empty Grave, Dog Pills. Let's see.
What a disgrace when your constituents settle with death over debt. Blood and breathing the same that'll strike my way. What a disgrace when your constituents settle with death over debt. Blood and breathing the same that'll strike my way to the grave for the sake of my kids gonna eat, I'll bear that heat, I'll grind my teeth with a weight of fucking metal.
I can't understand him. Sorry. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. So, look at this. In February, there was a poll that said 37% support Kamala Harris as their preferred presidential candidate. It's just hard to see a truly socialist nation working, but I wouldn't turn away on it. Brother, the Norwegian nations exist. Scandinavian nations exist. They're entirely socialist, and they are fucking beautiful. What are we talking about? What are we talking about right now? Would you support a Bernie Sanders campaign? No, he's too old. I love Bernie. I need Bernie to endorse somebody. Somebody like AOC. Use the extra profits for capitalism to pay for a better generation to grow up and have better jobs, higher paying taxes, or whatever. Their offspring keeps getting better. Yeah, no, listen, I'm not, like, when I say that I'm a socialist, I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to earn money. No, you should be able to earn money, but we need to have a welfare state. We need to have a fuckload of money that is provided by the state in order to create social safety nets for our most marginalized communities. Like, our fucking systems should be paying for universal public services, for strong social safety nets, high levels of taxation, all that shit. Yeah, it's a terrible idea to get a hammer and sickle tattoo, brother. Not in today's day and age. You'll deadass be thrown in prison if you get caught with one of those. For example, I don't know, like, if, like, you got, like, ICE near you or whatever, but if ICE saw that, no, you're getting fucking thrown in prison, dog. It is not the time for that. Not the time. How do you think we go about combating misogyny if AOC were to run? A lot of the country still doesn't think a woman can run the country. That's a good question. Well, I mean, you can always do the obvious and point out, like, hey, look at how fucked the situation is that we're in right now, and men got us into it in the first place. But listen, there's a large swath of the population who will just simply never vote for a woman, even if Jesus Christ came back with tits. So it has nothing to do with AOC. It has everything to do with that voter, and some voters you're just never going to reach. I don't know much about AOC, but does she have any good policies? Well, she's a socialist. She keeps on talking about completely ridding money from politics, which I think is extremely important. Banning lobbying entirely, like getting rid of Citizens United and super PACs. And, you know, I have one firm belief, which I've held firmly for many, many years. And if I was ever the president, I would sign an executive order doing this immediately. Individuals should be allowed to donate to political campaigns, but an individual should be maxed out at $1,000 per month. That is the most that you can donate to any political candidate, no matter what. And organizations like companies should not be allowed to exceed that limit either. That way, if you really, truly want to get the people on your side, you actually have to go to them. You have to meet them. You have to come and get them on your side. It's not about getting $400 billion from Geo Group and then using that money to create a propaganda machine. No, you should be going to your constituents and getting them to give you the money that you need in order to run because they truly fucking believe in you. On top of that, yes, XODIs. I believe that any elected official should not be allowed to trade on the stock market during their term and for 2 years after their term, along with any and all immediate family members. The live said it was YouTube featured when I joined. Yeah, so I've been, making moves. Well, you sitting around doing this. I was up making moves. No, but I have been making moves with some very important people. And that may be playing a role in getting my content pumped out more. Making moves. Yeah, you know. Oi, Yui. Homelander raped me wife, nicked me boy, right? So I'm gonna need you to go in there and get him back. It's gonna be fucking diabolical, yeah? The DNC says, thank you for your service. Thank you, Nelson Snow, my Chinese Communist Party handler. Bravo 6, going dark. Well, what's the whole line? It's like, what is the whole line? Out there in the shadows, they send us to do their dirty work. Bravo 6, going dark. Need a ban on lobbying? Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. The best cause to donate to is Israel, the only Jewish state in the Middle East and defending Jews around the world. Yeah, Israel, the most similar to Nazi Germany state that exists on Earth, currently practicing apartheid and slaughtered over 200,000 innocent women and children through their use of the Where's Daddy AI drones that just bomb the ever-loving fuck out of children. Yeah, no, I can confidently say fuck Israel with my entire fucking chest. What software do you use to stream? I use Streamlabs. Had that person posted out a username? No, they have a username. It's just in Hebrew. New GOP bill could add trillions to the U.S. deficit, some experts say. Here's what to know. The Republican-backed tax spending bill that's now moving forward in the House is getting a reality check from Wall Street. That's because the proposed tax breaks are projected to far outstrip any savings in the bill, potentially leading to mounting U.S. debt and a worsening fiscal outlook, according to economists and policy experts. Do you think Trump can get impeached? It doesn't fucking matter. He's been impeached twice. You can impeach Trump a million fucking times. You can't force him to leave the presidency. When you get impeached, you're supposed to step down. It's a sign of decency. You dead ass think he's going to do that? That's Arabic, not Hebrew. Was it? No, whatever. Close enough. I did everything right and they indicted me. They indicted me. They indicted me. Thank you for the $2 donation. Watching this while in cooking class. You better keep cooking, JD Dubois. Those risks are rattling Wall Street. Moody's ratings on Friday downgraded the nation's debt, citing the potential for the new bill to add $4 trillion to the federal primary deficit, which excludes interest payments over the next decade. The bill also faces detractors within the Republican Party, with the House Freedom Caucus saying in a social media post on Sunday that the bill, quote, fails to actually honor our promise to significantly correct the spending trajectory of the federal government and lead our nation toward a balanced budget. Have you considered a soundboard? No, I have not considered a soundboard. I have not. The concern, according to both Wall Street economists and policy experts, is that adding billions in debt to the U.S. ledger could eventually squeeze federal spending because the nation would likely face higher interest payments. That, in turn, could make it more difficult to fund programs like Social Security, which is already facing a financial drawdown as baby boomers hit retirement age, or to invest in initiatives like infrastructure that can spur economic growth. So is forcing a president to step down not possible in the Constitution? I don't know too much about your laws. We have something that is called the 25th Amendment. Oh, let me turn the volume back up. Sorry, guys. We have something that is called the 25th Amendment, which you can use to remove a president from office, but it can only be done if every single member of the president's cabinet and the Congress and Senate all vote on it. It's possible, but Trump purposefully surrounded himself with loyalists and yes men and sycophants like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Elon Musk and RFK Jr. that those people will never vote to remove him from office. So effectively, he's in it forever. Marching on my college break time. Here for Chris, Jagmaster. How you doing, Jagmaster? Guys, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. On top of that, you can buy some merch, like this mug here. You could buy some merch right down below. You could use the discount code for the Ground News Vantage subscription. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5, and you can become a member on YouTube for $5. Those are all ways to support the channel financially. This is real independent media. I have no funding, never had a talk with an advertiser or a billionaire or a corporation. So if you do want to help the channel out, I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm going to go get some more coffee real quick. My crazy is, does the U.S. not hold elections during wartime? Historically, we have held elections during wartime. The only time that we would not hold an election is if the United States of America was invaded. And to invade the United States of America, there would be a fucking rifle behind every blade of grass. You gotta be fucking insane to do that. I'm gonna go get more coffee. Does that mean Trump can use this whole invasion tactic to prevent an election? Yes, that's his plan. That's why he's going to use the invasion to invoke the Insurrection Act, declare martial law, and then prevent an election in 2028. Can you explain why people in his cabinet were all once anti-Trump and then quickly bent the knee? I don't understand that one. Blackmail, possibly? No, not blackmail. Bribes. Bribery. These people are making fucking tens of millions of dollars. RFK, he's making fucking buco bread. Marjorie Taylor Greene is profiting from insider trading. Elon Musk made something like $30 billion in government grants in the first month. Like, it is literally all about money. That's all it is. That's all it is. Bribes. $10 donation from Zora Nokami. Honestly, your streams mean a lot to me. It keeps me informed so that I can avoid giving my boss a big head when I hear him about his Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ. Well, I appreciate the $10. Thank you. How do we start a revolution? Americans are treatlerites. We will never revolt unless you take away our treats. As long as you can get like overnight shipping from Amazon and a fucking $5 Funko Pop, Americans will never revolt. We're already fat and lazy. Just got paid and wanted to say free Palestine and trans rights are human rights. Hell fucking yeah, Nat, thank you for the $10 donation. Whew. It's time for policymakers to hit pause, go back to the drawing board, and put forward a plan that actually takes steps towards putting our nation on a sustainable fiscal trajectory, says Maya McGinnis, president of the Committee for Responsible Federal Budget, Public Policy think tank, in an email. People genuinely comparing Trump to Jesus Christ? Yes. Yes. They think Trump is actually the Messiah. There are people out there who genuinely think Trump is Jesus Christ. Okay, so what I want is... I gotta go to TikTok for a second. Kind of weird we got an American Pope too. That is a sign of the end times. Unironically, an American Pope is a sign of the end times. Absolutely. $10 donation. Everyone is sending money, so I thought I would too. Viva la revolucion! Hell fucking yeah. Hell yeah, thank you very much. Hell yeah, thank you very much. All right, check this out.
Does this tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Overtime. The president said your overtime will be tax-free. Does this bill continue the payroll tax on overtime?
It does not exempt overtime from the payroll tax.
The president said he's going to remove taxes on Social Security. Does this bill remove taxes on Social Security benefits?
The legislation provides an increased exemption amount.
But does it remove taxes on Social Security benefits as promised by the president?
Does not change social.
Does this...
Hold on. Let me make a quick TikTok. What's up, guys? We're live on YouTube right now proving that there's no... Oh, hold on. What's up, guys? We're live on YouTube right now. We're watching the GOP actually being questioned about the big, beautiful bill, and they're admitting that there's nothing about no tax on tips. There's nothing about no tax on overtime. There's nothing about no tax on Social Security. They all lied to you. I know that you stupid fucks keep on, like, going, well, on page 23 and on page 32. That's qualified tips, and you don't fucking qualify, loser. But we're watching it live if you want to hear it from the horse's mouth. I mean, they literally are asked, does this exclude tips from the tax payment? And he goes, no, this doesn't exclude tips. So, yeah, you can come hear it yourself if you still... are a fucking idiot. You can come over to the YouTube, Valenti Videos on YouTube, and you can watch it yourself. It'll be fun.
Tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's...
The payroll tax. Okay, hold on. We're live on YouTube right now watching Trump... hold on. We're live on YouTube right now watching GOP-appointed Republicans... Fuck, dude. I can't get this out right. We're live right now on YouTube watching the GOP admit that they didn't put no tax on tips. Okay. We're live on YouTube right now watching the GOP admit that they didn't put no tax on tips. They didn't put no tax on overtime. They didn't put no tax on Social Security. They didn't put any of that shit in the big, beautiful bill. We're watching it live, hearing it from the horse's fucking mouth. They are asked, so are tips excluded from the taxes? And they go, no, they're not excluded. Okay, well, Trump said overtime, is that excluded? They go, nah, that's not excluded. So yeah, you're all fucking stupid. If you want to feel even more stupid, come to the live stream and you can get disproven to your fucking face. Anyway, I love you all. Have a good one. There we go. Yeah, we're going to have to cover this.
Tax bill, continue the payroll tax on people's tips.
Yes, it does, Mr.
Overtime. The president said your overtime will be tax-free. Does this bill continue the payroll tax on overtime?
It does not exempt overtime from the payroll tax.
The president said he's going to remove taxes on Social Security. Does this bill remove taxes on Social Security benefits?
The legislation provides an increased exemption amount.
But does it remove taxes on Social Security benefits as promised by the president?
Does not change Social.
Does this?
Bro, these fucking stupid ass Trump supporters are not gonna believe this. Look at this too. Fuck yeah. These people are fucking brave. Those people are so fucking brave. Braver than I'll tell you that much.
Read, nigga, read!
Thank you for the $5 donation. Thanks for answering my dumb questions. I'm less educated. I love how you explain things. Free Palestine. Appreciate it. You're not dumb. You're not dumb. Don't worry.
Charges yesterday against Democratic Congresswoman McIver of New Jersey. McIver, seen here in the red blazer, is accused of assaulting and interfering with law enforcement officials earlier this month at an ICE facility in Newark. McIver says she was there to inspect the treatment of detainees at Delaney Hall.
Bro, if you actually unironically think that this woman showed up to an ICE facility and then assaulted an officer, I've got a fucking bridge to sell you, dog. I've got a lake. I've got beachfront property in fucking Ohio to sell you.
Says it was ICE agents who created an unsafe confrontation. Newark Mayor Ross Baraka was arrested during the clash, but his trespassing charge was later dropped.
Okay, let's make a video.
Developing in New Jersey, Congresswoman.
There's a beach here in Ohio. permaban Stormborn for, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go fuck yourself.
LaMonica McIver now facing federal charges from this confrontation at an ICE detention facility in Newark. Today, New York developing in New Jersey. Congresswoman
So everyone's pushing.
LaMonica McIver now facing federal charges from this confrontation at an ICE detention facility in Newark. Today, New York's Romney Smith's at that facility, Delaney Hall, with the details. Romney.
Good morning to you, Darrell. And there is about a fight in this country about due process and the Constitution of the United States. I think there's some people who believe they could do what they want to do and violate people's rights and their due process, and there are people who are trying to provide oversight, and it's causing conflict.
Now, this all started on May 9th when Mayor Ras Baraka and several congresspeople went to Delaney Hall for an oversight visit, saying that they were aware ICE recently reopened a closed detention facility, but ICE didn't have up-to-date certificate of occupancy, and they wanted to make sure the facility was up to code. At one point, you can see on video ICE agency walk outside of the gates on a public property to detain Mayor Baraka. The mayor is shielded by two congresswomen. The Department of Homeland Security released a new video claiming that Congresswoman LaMonica McIver pushed ICE agents as they tried to arrest Baraka.
Pushed? That's assault. This woman is in a crowd and was shoved and accidentally gets shoved into an ICE agent, and you're going to charge her with assault? We're so unbelievably fucked. We are so unbelievably fucked that I cannot properly explain how fucked we are. A New Jersey congresswoman is going to go to prison because of this.
It's a new video claiming that
because of that.
The mayor is shielded by
See that shove? That. This is apparently assault.
Outside of the gates on a public property.
That shove. I'm going to play it in super slow-mo for you. This is actually getting her sent to prison.
Walk out.
Right here. Watch the red.
Of the gates on a public property.
That shove.
Mayor Baraka.
That's enough. That's enough. You're going to prison. That's enough. MAGA will support this, because they are all fascists, and they not only do they love to see their political opponents get thrown in prison, but she's a black woman, which makes it even fucking better. They hate women and they hate black people. They hate Democrats. A Democrat black woman, they fucking love this shit. All right. McIver? What's her name? McIver?
About
developing in New Jersey, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver now facing federal charges.
LaMonica McIver. Okay. Yeah, let's get some January 6th footage. Good idea. Okay. All right, let's record. Let's record. Quick audio test, audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. Audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. Audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. Did you see that Ashley Babbitt's family was just awarded $5 million for wrongful death? Are you kidding me? That dumb cunt getting shot through the neck was the best part of that fucking day. Are you fucking serious? That dead bitch was the only fucking icing on the cake. It was the cherry on top. It was the only good part of that day, was that bitch ceasing to exist. Are you fucking serious? And the funniest part about it is the lingering, like, hatred from the mother. Her mother goes around to all of these fucking January 6th protests being like, my daughter died. Yeah, your daughter died, you dumb bitch. You raised a dumb idiot bitch and now she's fucking dead. Yeah, she did. Fuck you and your dead daughter. Suck my dick. Are you shitting me? You fucking serious? Bro, if I saw that woman, I would point and laugh and go, ha ha, you have a dead daughter. Fucking idiot bitch. Anyway, let's make a video. Damn, I don't like being this cruel, but I'll gladly go to hell for laughing at that. Oh, well, don't forget, that woman was breaking into the Capitol building in order to literally execute senators. So, she deserves zero sympathy. Zero. Nilch. Nada. None. Yeah, and the VP. Anybody here armed? I'm armed. Is anybody in this chat armed? Thank you for the $2 donation, Captain Mansano. Like the live, y'all, and praise your humble leader. Yeah, thank you. $5 donation. If Koos showed up during the video, no one take the rage bait. Yeah, no. All right, so guys, if you're armed, I want you to imagine you're sleeping in your house, and then you hear glass shattering, and you look out into the living room, and somebody is shattering your fucking windows with a riot shield, and then climbing inside. This is your house. You're armed. Are you within your rights to shoot that invader? Because I think you absolutely are. Not only that, that one person has a sea of 1,000 people behind them chanting, hang Mike Pence with fucking zip ties. They're ready to kill you. Like, be so fucking for real. That bitch deserved every shot that hit her. I think it was only one, though. You know? All right. What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti, and we've got some terrible, awful breaking news. The fascists in the Trump regime have arrested a Democratic Congresswoman, LaMonica McIver, from New Jersey, and they are moving forward with charging her with assault. Now, here's the thing. She has been arrested because she was practicing her oversight duties. She, as a congresswoman, is required by law to practice oversight and to go and observe these facilities that ICE is putting people in with no due process. So her and Ross Baraka, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, they went with a small group of people and they protested outside of an ICE facility where these, the Congresswoman, LaMonica McIver, and Ross Baraka, the mayor of Newark, New Jersey, they are obligated to do an oversight check on these facilities. Well, during the whole thing, the Nazis, the Gestapo, they came out of the facility and they started fucking pushing and punching and beating on everybody in the crowd, which then led to chaos. People are shoving each other, people are screaming, and in the process, the Congresswoman, Representative LaMonica McIver, was shoved into an ICE agent. No punching, no slapping, no hitting, no nails, no biting. And we have the footage. She was shoved by somebody and ended up being shoved into this ICE agent. Because of that, she's being charged with assault and will most likely be thrown in prison. We're going to cover this, but before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And remember, this is real independent media. I have no funding. I've never had a conversation with an advertiser or a billionaire or a government. So if you do want to support the channel, there's a couple of ways that you could do it. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. Massive shout out to the patrons. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. Massive shout out to the members on YouTube. You could buy some of this dope-ass Valenti Videos merch right down below, and you can use the 40% off discount code for the Vantage subscription on Ground News, located in the description below. But without further ado, let's dive right into the not the descent into fascism, because the descent is over. Let's start talking about the fascist climate that you live in. Okay, so this is according to AP News. Democratic Representative McIver charged with assault after skirmish at ICE Center, New Jersey prosecutors say. So before I read the article, I've got the footage here, and I want to show you it, okay?
Developing in New Jersey, Congresswoman McIver now facing federal...
We're going to put this in slow-mo. This is the shove that we're talking about. This is the shove that has her being charged with assault. Playback speed, 0.25. Watch it. She's in the red.
Developing in New Jersey.
She's in the red.
Congresswoman.
She's pushed.
LaMonica McIver.
Let me mute the audio real quick. She's pushed into that ICE agent. That right there is getting her charged with assault. Bang. That's it. Off to prison you go, Congresswoman. Off to prison you go. And I want to point out one thing here, okay? Which is that if you think that an elected representative, a congresswoman, who is practicing her oversight committee responsibilities, went all the way to this ICE facility in order to assault ICE officers. I don't mean this facetiously. I mean this seriously. You might have a mental disorder, okay? We are talking about not only a Democrat, but a woman, and a black woman at that, okay? This woman is going to face so much more scrutiny than if I had gone there, because I'm a white dude, okay? ICE fucking looks at me and goes, hey, did you take off your uniform? Because they think I'm one of them. MAGA will love this shit, and they will all fucking support it. Why? Because they're all fascists, and they cheer when their political opponents get rounded up and tossed into prison. But second of all, because she's a woman, and a black woman at that. Yeah, oh my God, yeah, throw those Democratic black women in fucking prison. Make America great again. Okay, so I'm going to show you this with a little bit of perspective too, because they have this at a wider angle, okay? Let me put it to regular speed so you can see exactly what we're talking about here.
Constitution of the United States. I think there's some people who believe they could do what they want to do. And violate people's rights and their due process, and there are people who are trying to provide oversight, and it's causing conflict.
Now, this all started on May 9th when Mayor Baraka and several congresspeople went to Delaney Hall for an oversight visit, saying that they were aware ICE recently reopened a closed detention facility, but ICE didn't have up-to-date certificate of occupancy, and they wanted to make sure the facility was up to code. At one point, you can see on video ICE agency walk outside of the gates on a public property to detain Mayor Baraka. The mayor is shielded by two congresswomen. The Department of Homeland Security released
that shove is what is getting her charged with assault. This shove
video claiming that.
Look at this. Let's play it again in slow-mo, because we do have a couple of MAGA rats in the chat. So let's put this to slow-mo.
It's on a public property to detain
Wait for it.
Mayor Baraka.
That shove. That guy's legs didn't even fucking move, mind you. That shove is going to get this Democratic congresswoman charged with assault, okay? If you can see that and you actually think that is a valid charge, I can't help you. I cannot help you, bro. Now, what I do want to do is show you a comparison to one other event that is an actual example of assault and violence. You ready? It was a little event called January 6th.
We're going to get riot warning.
Don't forget, Trump pardoned all of these fucking people, okay?
Riot, but this is now effectively a riot.
49 hours declaring it a riot.
Cruiser 5 to 50 be advised, Cal Police 1 advised they're trying to breach and get into the Capitol.
Look at all these fucking inbreds.
Breach of the Capitol!
No, the MAGA chuds in my chat right now, you can see them in the chat, are cheering for this because they are all less than inferior fascist subhuman inbreds. That's why. Julian Perez, we're going to go over the bill right after we finish filming this video because we actually have it straight from the horse's mouth. The GOP admitted that no, there's nothing about no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. You're stupid, and you went and read page 23 and 32, but you didn't actually read it. You read the fucking cover title, and you didn't read the fact that it says you have to qualify for no tax on tips, and this is not no tax on tips. This is a deduction to the amount of taxes you're going to pay on the tips. Again, we're going to cover it. You're going to get it from the horse's mouth. Because I know it doesn't matter what I say. You're not going to believe me. You're in a cult.
We need to hold the doors of the Capitol.
And again, these people were all pardoned by Trump, by the way. These people were all pardoned by Trump.
I need court support.
And the one good thing that happened from this event, right? The one good thing, which was Ashley Babbitt getting fucking killed. Rest in hell, bitch. The only good thing that happened was Ashley Babbitt got fucking murdered, okay? And now her family is getting $5 million from the Trump regime because of her wrongful death. Now, let me ask you MAGA chuds in the chat. Some of you are armed. I'm assuming you are. I want you to imagine you're sleeping at home, and then suddenly you hear the fucking glass shatter, and there's some woman climbing in through the glass with a horde of people behind her chanting, hang whoever your fucking family member is, because they're chanting hang Mike Pence. So let's say, like, your dad. Hanging your dad. You're gonna body that bitch, and I'm gonna be on your fucking side. But suddenly, because she's a Trump supporter, oh, no, it was a wrongful death. Fuck you. That bitch is roasting. They should have fucking opened fire on these people. If this was a crowd of Democrats, they would have opened fire. They should have opened fire on these people.
They were peaceful people. These were great people. The crowd was unbelievable. And I mentioned the word love, the love in the air. I've never seen anything like it.
Now, mind you, again, I know I said it earlier, Trump pardoned all of these people. And MAGA will chant "back the blue" while watching footage of people driving taser guns into the necks of police officers at the Capitol. And they'll also put like a Punisher logo on the back of their fucking F-150s because they're insanely stupid and they don't understand that the Punisher himself hates cops. So, we've reached the point in American democracy where we are arresting Democratic congresswomen for practicing their oversight duties, which they are contractually obligated to do. Fascism is here. You live in a fascist regime with an authoritarian dictator cosplaying as a president. That's all I have for you. If you're here live, you stay. We're going to keep going. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and also click that video right over there. I promise you, it's an absolute banger. I'll catch you. Have a good one. Jesus Christ. All right, so is that MAGA guy still here? Julian Perez. January 6th was needed to wake our government up and show that people will not allow corruption and rigged elections. Yeah, so you just watch all that footage and you support everything you just saw? We watched the same footage. You support everything you just saw? I'm curious. January 6th was a valid response. So, Koofs and Julian, you guys support the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. You guys support it. You think it was a good thing. You're serious. You support the attempted insurrection on January 6th? It was a fight for democracy. Stop avoiding the question, you coward little pussy boy. Do you support the attempted insurrection on January 6th or not? Yes or no? Do you support the attempted insurrection on January 6th or not? Don't be scared. Just answer the question. $10 donation. These maggots remind me so much of the red pill guys. They spout all this crap, but I don't think any of them know anyone it's actually worked for. Yeah, no. It was a fight for fair and free election. So I'm going to ask you again because you both seem to be pussy boys. So who is it? It's Julian Perez and Koofs15. Okay, you coward little pussy boy baby back bitches. Do you support what happened on January 6th? Yes or no? Try to be a brave boy. Try not to be a coward and answer with either a yes or a no. Sweet, sweet summer child. Do you support what happened on January 6th? Yes or no? Very simple question. Try being brave. Try answering. No, you don't support what happened on January 6th. Oh, okay, Julian. Great. Fantastic. Good to know that you're actually an American. What about you, Koofs? Not all of it, but yes. Okay, so Koofs does support the attempted insurrection on the Capitol, the attempt to overthrow the United States democracy. Great. Okay, so you're anti-American. You're anti-American. Got it. At first, yes, but it ended really bad. So you guys are anti-American because the entire insurrection was to overthrow the election results and force in a fraudulent electorate that would have put Trump as the president. So you guys are traitors to the United States of America. That's what you are. You guys are traitors. Only the peaceful protest that got out of hand. Only the peaceful protest. I think we should pull up more footage, right, guys? I think we should pull up more footage. You think the protest was... what? I think the protest was mishandled by both sides. Oh, yeah.
So we're going to see some of what our witness...
Let's see. Oh, real quick, do you back the blue? Hey, MAGA rat shud inbreds. Julian, do you back the blue? Do you back the blue? Oh, did you say it started off as a peaceful protest? Yeah, such a peaceful protest, right? So this is you, right? Koofs, this is what you support, right? Koofs and Julian, this is what you support, right?
Even Trump, we're still taking metal, sharpened objects, missiles, to include bottles and rocks, and hand-thrown chemical-grade fireworks.
This is what you support, Koofs. You said that this is good. You said that the January 6th insurrection was a good thing. Julian and Koofs, you guys love the January 6th insurrection. You said it was a good thing. You said it was needed. You said it was a fight for democracy. Here's your fight for democracy, you fucking pieces of shit. Don't you support this? Don't you support this, you inbred fucking idiots? These are you. This is you. This is you. You are MAGA. This is you. These are the people you stand shoulder to shoulder with, you anti-American traitorous fucks. You see that? You stand with that too, you fucking anti-American bastards? You stand with that? You stand with that, you fucking anti-American pieces of shit? You stand with that, Koofs? You stand with that, Julian?
This is now effectively a riot.
1349 hours declaring it a riot.
Look at them howling like fucking pigs. Like the fucking pigs they are. You are, like, dude, if you support this, I'm not kidding. You're a traitor. You're a traitor to the nation. You should be charged. I'm so fucking dead ass. You're a traitor.
Okay, guys. Apparently, this tip of the spear has entered the Capitol building.
If I give this up, they're going to have to run doctor.
How can people support this? Oh, well, they're subhuman fascist rats. That's how. If you support this, you are an anti-American fascist rat, and you deserve to be treated as such.
This is not what we can defend. We gotta hold what we have.
Take your pins off.
Yeah. The fuck?
Take your pins off.
Crucial has pranked 1033. I repeat, 1033 was from the Capitol. We have been pranked and we've lost the lives.
Back the blue, right, Julian? Back the blue, right, Julian? Right, Julian? Back the blue, right, Julian? Unless they're fighting for Trump.
Lock the shields! Lock them together! Lock them together! We need fresh patriots in the front! Jimmy, get him to the back! Get him to the back! Get him to the back! Let's get some
Morning, Jack.
up front!
Hey, Julian, do you support this? Hey, Julian. Hey, Julian. Hey, MAGA, do you support this part here? Hey, Koofs, what do you think about this part here? I wasn't there either, Koofs, but I'm watching the footage, and I'm man enough to say that that's fucked up. You're not man enough to say that because you're a bootlicking cultist. You're a fucking subhuman fascist rat. No, I don't, of course, but Julian, you said this was a fight for democracy. You said this was a fight for democracy, Julian. You said that these people were fighting against a corrupt government, Julian. What happened? What happened, Julian?
Try it! All right, let me out! You gotta go back! Don't try it!
What about that? You support that right there, Koofs? Hey, Koofs, do you support that too? Why didn't I see these clips? Because the Republicans don't want you to see these clips. You have to be well educated and capable of finding these clips because you live in the United States of America, a propaganda machine, where if you don't go searching for the information, you will only be spoon-fed what they want you to see. Oh, look, it's the gallows they're building. Hey, Julian, why did they bring all of this stuff? You said the principle was right? There's the gallows they built to hang Mike Pence. Hey, Julian, hey, Koofs, you said the principle was right. Why did they bring all of the stuff needed to build a fucking gallows? To build a fucking gallows! You fucking idiots! You are traitors. You are traitors. You are traitors. You are traitors. You will always be traitors. You can't undo supporting this. You supported this on a fucking chat. The internet is forever. You are a traitor. And the funnier part is, you think you're a patriot. Just move on, dude. Oh, I know you would love for me to move on because this makes you look like a treasonous bastard, right?
Got the gallows set outside this Capitol building. It's time to start fucking using them.
Start making a list, put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one.
By the way, Trump pardoned this guy. Trump pardoned every single one of these guys, just so you know.
Mobilize in your own cities, your own counties, storm your own Capitol buildings, and take down every one of these corrupt motherfuckers. So we fucking need to have 30,000 guns up here. That's true.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking.
So there's just a handful of the footage that you guys support. America was founded on revolution. This is American. Yeah, we revolted against a government that was not representing us because they were an entire ocean away. We also were revolting over, guess what? Tariffs, dumbass. They were putting a tariff on our fucking tea. Jesus Christ. Now, let's move on to this. Because, Julian, you brought up the big, beautiful bill, right?
Does this tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Overtime.
Did you hear that, Julian? Let's play that again for you.
Tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Okay, so yeah, you're gonna have to keep paying tax on tips.
The president said your overtime will be tax-free. Does this bill continue the payroll tax on overtime?
It does not exempt overtime from the payroll tax.
You hear that, you stupid fuck?
The president said he's going to remove taxes on Social Security. Does this bill remove taxes on Social Security benefits?
The legislation provides an increased exemption amount.
But does it remove taxes on Social Security benefits as promised by the president?
Does not change Social.
Does this?
Hey, Julian, I thought you said page 23 and 32 said no tax on tips. What the fuck? What's going on? What's going on? I thought you said I was wrong. What happened, Julian? Oh, no.
Tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Overtime. The president said your overtime will be tax-free. Does this bill continue the payroll tax on overtime?
It does not exempt overtime from the payroll tax.
The president said he's going to remove taxes on Social Security. Does this bill remove taxes on Social Security benefits?
The legislation provides an increased exemption amount.
But does it remove taxes on Social Security benefits as promised by the president?
Does not change Social.
Does this?
So how does it feel to be so confident and also so fucking wrong? How does that feel?
Tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does.
How does that feel? What happened to Julian? Julian, where'd you go? $10 donation. Thanks for the info. I'll have to catch you later. I've got to get ready to go live. Thanks for being here, keeping people informed and equipped to fight against these idiots. Thank you, Sora Nokami. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. What happened to Julian? Where'd you go, Julian? Julian. Trump's chief of staff. He's the chief of staff for taxation. It's on the bill. You didn't read the bill. It says that the section is called no tax on tips. If you read the fucking bill, it's about qualified tips, and it has nothing to do with no taxes. It has to do with lowering the threshold in order to be taxed on it. You're hearing it from the fucking horse's mouth, you pathetic inbred idiot. Listen again.
Does this tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Overtime.
This is the chief of staff of taxation. He just said, yes, you will continue to pay taxes on your tips. Are you actually brain dead? I'm serious. Are you brain dead or not? Are you brain dead?
President said, does this tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Overtime. The president said your overtime will be tax-free. Does this bill continue the payroll tax on overtime?
It does not exempt overtime from the payroll tax.
The president said he's going to remove taxes on Social Security. Does this bill remove taxes on Social Security benefits?
The legislation provides an increased exemption amount.
But does it remove taxes on Social Security benefits as promised by the president?
Does not change social.
Does this?
Okay, so yeah, you're wrong again. I'll do my own research, not TikTok clips. Yeah, so this is a clip from an actual fucking Senate hearing. This is just your own government practicing its rules and regulations. It happens to be posted on TikTok, but I could get the same clip on any fucking app. YouTube. Would YouTube help? What if I brought it up on YouTube? Would that help? Would that help? I know it hurts to be proven wrong and to be so confident and then realize that you're a fucking idiot, but why don't we pull this up?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Mr. Barthold, for...
Hold on. Let's actually make a video about this. Let's get it sent out to as many people as we possibly can. What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Welcome to the latest episode of the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. We've got a brain-dead MAGA chud in the chat, two of them. One of them is named Julian Perez, and the other one is Koofs15. And these fucking idiots think that the big, beautiful bill actually includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security payments. None of that is in the bill. The GOP knows that most of their constituents and voters can't read or don't read, so they put it in big, bold letters as the title of the section, knowing that their fucking idiot, inbred, brain-dead MAGA chud voters will not read any further. So, you know, these GOP representatives were questioned on the Senate floor directly. Hey, does this bill include no tax on tips? And guess how they answer? No, it doesn't include no tax on tips. But again, here's the thing. These voters, the MAGA voters, they are George Orwell's 1984 shit. When they don't believe what they see. They don't believe what they hear. As long as the Fuhrer, as long as the orange mango Mussolini says that it's in there, then it must be in there, because these people are quite literally incapable of critical thinking, and they are bootlicking cultists. So we're going to watch this 5-minute and 10-second clip of Larson confirming that Republican tax bill does not end taxes on Social Security or improve any solvency. So let's watch a couple of clips of this together, all right? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, helps me immensely.
Mr. Barthold, how long have you been doing this?
Actually 2 days from today will mark my 16th anniversary as the Chief of Staff of the Joint Committee on Taxation.
And I think you can tell from the applause the enormous respect that people have for your job. When did you receive this bill that we're asking you all these questions on, the full bill?
The final completed version of the bill was delivered to us when it was delivered to you yesterday afternoon. Now, to be fair, and as you know from your experience, we work closely with all the members. We work closely with the chairman and his staff. So we were aware of many of the
understandable, but I want for the viewing audience to know that when you actually receive this and are supposed to answer all these questions. I have some technical questions that I wanted to ask you, especially was interested in what you were saying, how in a bill sometimes things can get crowded out by the changes that occur from a 28-page to over 400. But how many, because initially we had heard about this.
Julian just said in the chat, please read the actual bill on the website. I did. I read the entire thing. It doesn't include no tax on tips. You didn't read it. You saw the title that says Section 101.112, no tax on tips. Then there's 2 pages. Read it, you fucking inbred dipshit. It mentions nothing about getting rid of tax on tips. It mentions nothing about getting rid of taxes on overtime. Nothing whatsoever. It does mention things about lowering the tax threshold on qualified tips, which is about bonuses for millionaires. You fucking idiot.
Social Security tax on income, and that it was going to be eliminated altogether, but how many individuals will still be subject to tax on Social Security income after accounting for what's now called the senior deduction in this proposal?
Well, let's see. Under present law for 2026, we estimate that there will be about 56 million tax filing units with Social Security benefits. 32 million have Social Security benefits in their adjusted gross income because there is the exclusion for a number of taxpayers. And about 27 million have Social Security benefits in AGI and owe some individual income tax. Under the proposal for 2026, about 25 million tax returns are estimated to have Social Security benefits included in AGI and owe any income tax. Now, that's in part because they have other income. About 24 million tax returns will have Social Security benefits included in AGI that exceed the $4,000 additional seniors deduction and also will owe some individual income.
So essentially, this bill doesn't do as President Trump promised to eliminate taxes on social.
Yeah, it gives you a deduction to your taxes because you would need to be so fucking stupid to think that we're getting rid of taxes on tips, taxes on overtime, and taxes on Social Security. If you think that, I mean this, you are one of the stupidest members of the United States of America. That means you, Julian. You're a fucking idiot.
Security, because some seniors will receive no benefit or less than full benefits from the additional senior deduction from this bill. Believe it or not, Mr. Chairman, we do have a solution for that in a bill that we'd like to see at some time at least be heard. But Mr. Bartold, at what income amount does someone stop paying FICA contributions to Social Security?
For the present year, it's $176,100.
Thank you. And so...
Oh, you hear that? So you need to make $176,000 or more to not pay, to get a deduction on your tips, on the taxes that you pay on tips. A deduction. Oh, I'm sorry, Julian. Do you make $176,000 a year or more?
Someone who's making, let's say, 2.5, I won't go to the 500 billion that Mr. Our favorite person, Mr. Musk, is getting, but 2.5 million in annual wages. Will they pay FICA throughout the year?
FICA is collected until you reach the maximum. So at that substantial rate of pay, no, you do not pay FICA.
So in the case of Mr. Musk, who receives a compensation package of more than $50 billion from Telsa, but has never received a salaried income, how much would a person who makes millions or billions in compensation through stocks contribute to Social Security each year?
Capital gain income, return on equity grants are not wages subject to FICA. There are certain stock compensation.
Oh, so millionaires and billionaires don't have to pay into Social Security, but you and I do? Great. Fantastic.
Subject to FICA, and I'm not specifically familiar with Mr. Musk's
Is there anything in this legislation that would increase the amount of those making over $400,000 to contribute to Social Security or its solvency?
No, sir. There's nothing that would increase contributions.
Oh, got it. Okay, so if you make $400,000 a year, no, you don't have to pay more, but you and I do. You and I do. So the one big beautiful bill actually increases the tax of the working class, and it lowers the taxes of the 1%. Trickle-down economics, right, guys? Because trickle-down economics works, right, guys? What's funny is, unironically, I'm willing to bet money, I'm going to get the chat back up, that Julian Perez and Koofs15 actually think trickle-down economics works. I'm genuinely willing to bet $10 on that, 1,000%.
This bill raises the debt by over $4 trillion, yet
gentleman's time has expired.
Nothing to improve the Social Security benefits.
So that's just one, and I wanted to pull up this too. Check this out.
Tax bill continue the payroll tax. Does this tax bill continue the payroll tax on people's tips?
Yes, it does, Mr.
Overtime. The president said.
By the way, exactly what I said, just where Koofs just said trickle-down economics works. It worked with Reagan. Brother, you're so stupid. You know nothing about American history. Ronald Reagan is responsible for offshoring all of our manufacturing. The middle class did not grow in wealth, and the billionaires just got richer under Ronald Reagan. Granted, billionaires didn't exist yet, but the rich got richer under Ronald Reagan. Trickle-down economics has never once worked historically, and every single economist on planet Earth disagrees with you. Why? You're an idiot. They're not.
Your overtime will be tax-free. Does this bill continue the payroll tax on overtime?
It does not exempt overtime from the payroll tax.
The president said he's going to remove taxes on Social Security. Does this bill remove taxes on Social Security benefits?
The legislation provides an increased exemption amount.
But does it remove taxes on Social Security benefits as promised by the president?
Does not change Social.
Does this tax bill continue?
So listen, guys, here's the thing. MAGA lives in this 1984 mindset. Even though you just heard what you heard, you saw what you saw, they didn't. That didn't happen. In their mind, no, it didn't. Trump is perfect. Trump can't do no wrong. Trump 2028. MAGA, 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 MAGA. These are actual cultists. There is nothing you can do to bring them back to reality. They will die on this hill. They will be Trump until the fucking revolution. They will always be Trump. They've forsaken all bonds of brotherhood. They've forsaken their family members. They have forsaken their dignity. You are not talking to normal people. You are talking to fascist cultists. They deserve no sympathy. They deserve no empathy. They deserve no respect. They will have none of it. Okay? Anyway, that's all I got for you. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and click that video over there. I promise you it's an absolute fucking banger. Oh, Jesus. "1984 is about Democrats." No, it's not, you fucking moron. It's about the United States. It has nothing to do with Democrat or Republican, you stupid fuck. I know you haven't read the book or seen the movie. That's not your fault. You just like to parrot talking points. Bro, is keeping you safe by securing our border. You communists do ask for too much and do too little. I'm not a communist, but I know what you're doing, which is you're so unbelievably uneducated that you label any of your political opponents as communist. You probably think Kamala Harris was a communist, don't you, you stupid fuck? Hey, Julian, do you think Kamala Harris was a communist? Hey, Julian, do you think Kamala Harris was a communist? You are literally Ingsog supporter, Chris. You're a socialist. Yeah, I am a socialist. Yeah. I am. And proud. 100%. Ingsoc is what government is called in the book. It's about socialism. Lamo fell for the trap. Oh, yeah? Ingsoc? 100%, brother. But I am a socialist. Thought they were called Big Brother. They are called Big Brother. In George Orwell's 1984, Ingsoc is the official political ideology of the superstate Oceania, which is a parody of English socialism and totalitarian system of government. It's characterized by absolute control, constant surveillance, and a cult of personality surrounding Big Brother. Ingsoc stands for English socialism and is a form of totalitarianism based on absolute power and control. It is a parody of the British Socialist Fabian Society founded in 1884. Yet, Koofs, do you know what the word parody means? Do you know what the word parody means, Koofs? An imitation of the style of a particular writer, artist, or genre with deliberate exaggeration for comic effect. The book is literally about socialism. Brother, I actually think you have a mental disability. Deliberate exaggeration for comic effect. That's the whole point. Literally, the entire 1984, the entire book just flew over your head. The entire book. Oh. Lamo, you communists are so pathetic. Again, I'm not a communist, I'm a socialist, but you don't know what communism or socialism is. So I understand you label any of your political opponents as communists because you're living through the Third Red Scare and you spoon-feed American propaganda down your throat. I can't help you, brother. I'm willing to bet that I could call out all of your beliefs. You're probably a vehement supporter of Israel. Meanwhile, you probably hate Jews and want Christianity to take over the Middle East. You probably are 100% anti-abortion. You want all women to be forced to give birth. You probably think that gay marriage should be revoked and that marriage should only be between a man and a woman. What else? You probably think that we are indoctrinating our kids into transing themselves, but you have no problem with teaching a child that he'll burn in eternal hellfire for committing a cardinal sin. I'm willing to guarantee that everything I just said is true. Israel's in the Bible. I'm a Christian, so I support. See, dude, you are so fucking predictable. You are so. Oh, you're also most likely either bald or 15 years old. One of the two. Every single thing I just said, I'm willing to bet you believe in that. Everything. "29 and not bald." I think you are bald. This is a Christian nation, brother. No, it isn't. The Founding Fathers were very clear in making sure that we understood this is a secular society with a separation of church and state. You disagree with the literal Founding Fathers. This is not a Christian nation, never has been. You're about to say, "In God we trust on the money." That was added in the 1960s during the Red Scare. Bro, socialists should lead by example and live in a socialism country, but they won't enjoy the labor of capitalism. Yeah, so the Nordic model exists, and Scandinavian countries practice socialism, and they are more successful than we are. They have a better healthcare industry. They have better schools and universities. They have social safety nets, and socialism works. So... 18, I know more than you. It sucked I couldn't vote last election, even though my vote wouldn't have counted. 100%. 18-year-olds. There are literal 18-year-olds who understand geopolitics more than these 29-year-old MAGA fucking idiots. Capitalist is not perfect, but it is the best thing we have. Oh, okay. So all these socialist programs. For example, you know that your weekend didn't exist under capitalism. It was fought for by socialists and communists. You used to work a seven-day week. You used to work a 12-hour workday instead of an 8-hour workday. There was no overtime pay. There was no vacation. All of this stuff was fought for by socialists and communists who forced the capitalists to bend the knee. Christian schools are coming, Chris. Be ready. Trump youth program. So, Koofs, are you saying that you support like a modern version of the Hitler youth program? Because that's what you're calling it, the Trump youth program. Let me make sure that everybody can see that message. So, Koofs, Christian schools are coming, Chris. Be ready. Trump youth program. Are you saying that you want a modern version of the Hitler youth program? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Trump is a good teacher. No, try answering the question, you coward of a man. I bet your mother's a whore and your father was a pussy. Same thing with your slut grandmother and your fucking weakling grandfather. That's why you're such a beta bitch. Answer the question. Do you support a modern version of the Hitler Youth program, you fascist, anti-American, traitorous piece of shit? Do you support a modern version of the Hitler Youth program, son of a whore? Do you support that? Chrissy, come on, I know you see the message. What message? Valenti talk about the Jewish community in Brooklyn attacking people who support Palestine. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dog. Where'd you go, Coops? Where'd you go, Coops? Trump Youth Program is a program about love and no alcohol and smoking. Of course you don't support that. What the fuck are you talking about? Also, try answering the question one more time, son of a slut. Do you support a modern version of the Hitler Youth Program? Yes or no? This is a yes or no question. Do you support that, son of a whore? Not Hitler, but Trump. We got a lot of youth programs. Not all are Nazi programs. Well, you said that it was going to be a Christian program, Christian school. So let me ask you this. Koofs, do you support forcing people to become Christians? Do you support forcing people to become Christians? Calling someone's mom a whore is goofy behavior. Sorry, dude. I got your mom in the other room cleaning my cum off her back. So maybe when that's over, we could talk. No, but we had Christian schools before. So, Koofs, you do, and we also still have Christian schools, you dumb fuck. They're private schools. So, Koofs, I'm going to ask you one more time. Do you support forcing people to become Christian? Yes or no? No. Okay, so you take back what you said earlier. What the fuck? Dude, do you even have a belief system?
President Trump seems to be backing off from the pressure he had been putting on Russia to commit to a 30-day ceasefire with Ukraine, instead saying the negotiations must happen between those two countries directly. Here's what happened at the White House today. President Trump had a 2-hour phone call with Russian President Putin today. And though it didn't seem to yield any breakthroughs, he described it in positive terms on social media after that call happened, and also said that he now believes that any agreement that happens here will have to be negotiated between Russia and Ukraine. That comes just days after the president said that he thought before
Jews can go and Muslims? What does that mean? What the fuck does that mean?
before any real progress could happen, he would personally have to sit down with the Russian leader.
Would you have any questions?
Did you ask President Putin to meet with you?
About what?
About Ukraine.
Yeah, of course I did. I talked to him about it. I said, when are we going to end this, Vladimir? I've known him for a long time now. I said, when are we going to end this bloodshed, this bloodbath? It's a bloodbath. And I do believe he wants to end it. And I did say also, if I thought that you couldn't do it, I'd step away, because what are you going to do? We don't have boots on the ground. We wouldn't have boots on the ground. But we do have a big stake. And the financial amount that was put up is just crazy. It's crazy. This isn't for us. This is for somebody else.
The president told us that he believes.
Okay, so hold on. Let's get the rest of this.
Last week in the Middle East. How are you feeling about how Putin is handling this? I know you had said a few weeks ago you thought maybe how Putin is handling this. You said a few weeks ago you thought maybe he was tapping you.
I'll let you know in a few days.
Asked that question again today, the president said this.
It's a very bad thing that's happening over there. I think he wants to stop. But I could answer that question better in 2 weeks or 4 weeks from now. I hope the answer is that he wants to get it solved.
My source tonight is the Republican Senator Mike Rounds of South Dakota, and it's great to have you here, sir.
Yeah, so Trump is surrendering to Putin. All of that money we spent on defending Ukraine all went right down the drain. Putin is going to take anything and everything that he wants in Ukraine. Isn't that great? Isn't that fucking great? We love that. We love that.
But they ought to pay. So NFL, FIFA, I think they all ought to pay.
This is live.
And we'll be insisting on trying to put language in that. If you're a for-profit entity and the government's helping you, you ought to pay for it. With regard to TSA Quiet Skies and Tulsi Gabbard situation, I suspect there are going to be other people that were caught up in this thing as well. By the idea that we took a former congresswoman and we're surveilling her and riding on jets with her. There was another story of an air marshal whose wife, might have been at January 6th or something, and now we're, have air marshals following another air marshal or his wife. So I want to hear the whole story of what happened. I want to hear that people have been let go, that they're no longer doing this. If there were abuses of Tulsi Gabbard's liberties, I want to hear from that. But I want repercussions to come from this. And I think you've said something's coming. Please let us know, and let us know how the program the destruction of civil liberties can be minimized. I frankly probably have trouble with the whole program, but let's see if there's some way. But we need significant reform. If it needs legislation, please come to us with that. Thank you for your testimony today.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Secretary Null, for being here. I just want to follow up briefly with Chairman Paul's questions about the cost of the wall, the billions of dollars that are going to be put forward. We do have to have accurate numbers so that we could look at that for funding it. But I would hope you also take a look at all of the cost of a wall, because there are a lot of other secondary kinds of defenses you have to put forward. I was at the wall. I've been with security folks. They tell me that a lot of the cartels have designed very sophisticated technologies to get over the wall. They're called ladders and they're called ropes. So a wall doesn't really do the job if there's not a lot of other background technologies there. So you just can't put out a cost for the wall. That's money that's not going to be as effective without everything else. So let's have a discussion about that. For the first time in U.S. history, the federal government, at the direction of President Trump, is moving immigrants apprehended and detained in the United States on civil immigration charges to Naval Station at Guantanamo.
The Winge. Hi. Hi, the Winge. Wow. Good morning. The Weebs. Wow. Wow. Hi, Luigi. Hi, Mama. What a pretty girl. What a pretty girl. Oh, and here's Beans. Bean. Hi, Bubba. Bubba Scubba. Why you insult me? Let's be respectful. You deserve no respect. You're an actual traitor fascist, bro. I genuinely hope you choke. I mean that. I'm so fucking serious. I hope you choke. You are actively supporting the demolition of my nation. And when I have children, if you get your way, they will live under a fascist regime. And because of that, that makes you my ideological enemy. I hope you choke. I mean that. I wish you violently ill. I wish you the worst. You don't understand. We're not the same. Clipped? Go ahead. Fucking post it everywhere. I don't give a shit. I mean that. Brother, I'm live right now. Do you not know that? Do you think I don't know that what I'm saying is being recorded? Do you not know this? I don't give a fuck. I say this confidently with my whole chest. I hope you choke. You're a fascist. You said it yourself. You're a Christian nationalist. You're a theocratic fascist and a racist. I hope you choke. Yes. You say digital footprint. Exactly, Koofs. Exactly. There is a digital footprint of everything you've said. You publicly support fascism, Nazism, anti-Semitism, racism, transphobicism. You support everything evil. Send it to your fucking DEA brother. I don't give a shit.
Bay, which I know you're very familiar with. In March, man, this is like ripe for Doge. Why is Doge not down there? We're spending $100,000 a day to keep someone at Guantanamo, and we fly them down there. We keep them there a while, then we fly them back to the United States. Or we could keep them here for $165 a day. I think that's kind of outrageous. So, I'm concerned by the staggering cost of this, and I would hope, Secretary, you could commit providing this committee a detailed breakdown of the total cost of that operation there. There were just a sea of empty beds. There was all sorts of security folks, and nobody...
Chris, stop saying that over political disagreements. No, these aren't political disagreements. If you are a fascist, that's not a political disagreement. The fascist ideology is inherently reliant on violence. If you are a fascist, there is no act of violence that somebody can commit against you that is not self-defense. To be a fascist means that you support killing your opponents. There is no act of violence you can commit on a fascist that can't be considered self-defense. Their ideology relies on killing people. That's the whole point. Yeah, Chris, just get off the drugs. Brother, I have my sobriety date tattooed on my ribs, and I'm almost a decade clean because I actually had to go to rehab after overdosing as a kid. Because I went through a horrible childhood, was infested with drugs, and I've been clean for almost 10 years. So that's not going to affect me.
In those beds, which is why it's so expensive. So Chairman Paul will probably use this on his Festivus report later, I'm sure, of outrageous government spending, and I'll look forward to seeing that. Secretary Noem, are you familiar with Section 872 of the Homeland Security Act of 2002?
It sounds familiar, sir. You'll have to remind me the topic. Yes.
Well, Section 872 requires you, as Secretary, to provide a 60-day notice to Congress of any creation, deletion, consolidation, or alteration of organizations within the department that are not required.
Maximus, thank you for the $10 donation. Appreciate
explanation
that.
For the
Chris, but Trump isn't a fascist. Stop over-exaggerating. Hey, Julian, quick question. There is a man by the name of Dr. Lawrence Britt. He is the world's renowned fascist expert, and he wrote something in 2003 called The 14 Characteristics of Fascism. This was written in 2003. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. If I can pull up the 14 key characteristics of fascism, will you go through them with me and tell me which ones Trump meets? Because I can confidently say Trump meets all 14 key characteristics of fascism. Would you go through them with me? Would you? Would you? I will stop supporting Trump if he does. No, you won't. We've done this with you before. You will not. Oh. Where's Julian? Julian! Julian! You still here? Julian! You still here? We're going to go through this together. I want to know what you say to people that bring up Minneapolis burning down. I'm genuinely curious. I live in Minnesota. It wasn't as bad. You just tell them that Minneapolis didn't burn down. It didn't burn down. All right, so Julian, let's do it because you'd be fear-mongering. No, fear-mongering would be lying in order to distill fear. I am saying the truth, and it makes you feel fear. That's because the Trump regime is fascist. So here we go, Julian. You're going to tell me if he meets it, yes or no. We're going to go through them one at a time. Number one, powerful and continuing nationalism. Fascist regimes tend to make constant use of patriotic mottos, slogans, symbols, songs, and other paraphernalia. Flags are seen everywhere, as are flag symbols on clothing and in public displays. Julian, does Trump meet this? Yes or no? Does Trump meet this? Yes or no? The first one, number one. Some of these, if you say no, I can't. I'm not going to be able to take you seriously. Like this one. If you say no to this, then I can't help you, bro. You're actually a fucking idiot. Julian, does he meet this one? Nationalism is good. That's not the question, Koofs. Does he meet this qualification? These are the 14 key characteristics of fascism as put together by Dr. Lawrence Britt in the spring of 2003. So again, does he meet this one? Yes or no? Yes, he does. I want Julian's answer too. Julian, does he meet this one? Yes or no? Yes. Okay, number two. Disdain for the recognition of human rights. Because of fear of enemies and the need for security, the people in fascist regimes are persuaded that human rights can be ignored in certain cases because of, quote, need. The people tend to look the other way or even approve of torture, summary executions, assassinations, long incarcerations of prisoners, etc. This is an important part here because you guys are totally fine with sending people to the El Salvadorian slave labor camp without due process. So does he meet this one? Does he meet this one? Yes, he does. Number three, identification of enemies/scapegoats as a unifying cause. The people are rallied into a unifying patriotic frenzy over the need to eliminate a perceived common threat or foe. Racial, ethnic, or religious minorities. Liberals, communists, socialists, terrorists, etc. Does he meet this one? Also, Koofs, you're incorrect. He does meet the second one. Your opinion is so fucking flawed. It's actually ridiculous. Does he meet the third one, Julian? Does he meet the third one? Julian, please don't act like a fucking incel. Please don't act like an incel. Just answer the fucking question. Does he meet this one? And also, Koofs, he literally does meet this one. He says that he wants to send U.S. Citizens to the El Salvadorian slave labor camp. Number two doesn't sound like him, so no. No, number two is him. It is him. You're incorrect. Stop lying. Stop lying. He literally said that he wants to bring back public military tribunals. He has executed more people as the president than the past 6 presidents combined. And he has approved of sending people to the El Salvadorian slave labor camp for life, where they will never see light. And he also has said that he wants to start sending U.S. citizens. So he does meet number 2, whether you admit it or not. He also meets number 3. So we're going to move on to number 4. Chris, you a beta? Ow! We've got a fucking Turbo Wolf in the chat, boys. Oh, we're role-playing as wolves, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's get back to it. All right, so Julian has admitted that he meets the first 3. Let's move on to number 4. Supremacy of the military. Even when there are widespread domestic problems, the military is given a disproportionate amount of government funding, and the domestic agenda is neglected. Soldiers and military service are glamorized. The new big beautiful bill quite literally adds $1 trillion to the military budget. So he meets this one too. Do you admit that he meets this one too, Julian? Because he does. Are we going to deny reality? Are we going to deny reality? So does he meet number 4, Julian? Does he meet number 4? Julian. Julian, King Julian, King Julian. Yeah, I'm a higher male than you, Chris Alpha. Yours a beta. No, if you're an alpha, I'm a Turbo Wolf, brother. If we're role playing as wolves, because I'm just gonna keep on going higher, I'm a Turbo Wolf. I'm higher in the hierarchy than you. That makes you my beta. Oh! Yes for number 4, but for number 2, that is an exaggeration. Incorrect, Julian. Number 2 is not an exaggeration. We're not going to move past this. Donald Trump said that he wants to send U.S. citizens to the slave labor camp in El Salvador. That is a direct violation of the Constitution. You cannot deport U.S. citizens anywhere, no matter what crime they commit. He has already sent 3 citizens, deported them out of the United States, and he has argued that he wants to keep on sending people to the El Salvadorian slave labor camp. He has executed more people as president than the past 6 presidents combined. You are incorrect. Just admit it. Just admit it. Why are you lying? Why are you lying, Julian? He said he wants to send U.S. citizens to the slave labor camp in El Salvador. A direct violation of the Constitution. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? Is there a reason why you're lying? Roll the clip. I'm pretty sure this guy isn't that stupid. I think he knows that Trump said he wants to send U.S. citizens to El Salvador. Unless he's wildly stupid. Julian, do you not know that Trump said he wants to send U.S. citizens to the slave labor camp in El Salvador known as CCOT? Did you not know that? Did you not know that, Julian? God bless you, Chris. Hope the best for you. I'm going to go now, but I'll be respectful. I hope you choke. Fuck off, loser. Clip that one. Post it. Julian, where'd you go? Julian. If they come here illegally, that's a crime, but number 2 isn't him. He was just joking around. No, number 2 is him. You are wrong. Stop fucking lying. And he wasn't joking. He said he wants to send U.S. citizens to El Salvador, not illegals. Julian, do you know this or not? Do you know this? He said he wants to send U.S. citizens to El Salvador. Do you know this or do you not know this? This is not me asking your opinion. Are you aware that he said this or not? That's why I hail Trump. Your kids will be Christian. We hurt her, you like it or not. Earlier, you said that you don't support forcing people to be Christian, and now you're saying that you want to force my children to be Christian, which is why I'm telling you you're a theocratic fascist. You deserve no sympathy, no empathy, no respect. You are an enemy of the people. That's my point. No, don't ban Koofs. Every time Koofs is here, I make more money than I do in the other streams. Do not ban Koofs. But yeah, no, this is the thing about Koofs, is he admits that he's a fascist, and then he pulls it back. Then he admits that he's a fascist, then he pulls it back. This is what he does. He is a fascist. He is a Nazi. He deserves nothing. He's an oxygen thief. Anyway, where'd you go, Julian? Julian! Thank you for the $10 donation, Maximus. I appreciate that, brother. Julian, come back, buddy. Don't hide. Don't be scared. I know it hurts to get your political beliefs dismantled, but I know it's important for you. It's good for you. I think Julian ran away. I think it started to hurt his brain to realize that Trump is a fascist. Vape flavor? Some stupid shit. It's called pink and blue. Yeah, he's gone. He's gone.
Colleagues, let's just codify what President Trump has done and prevent criminal.
But that examination is something I take very seriously, that I need to do to make sure it's on task for why that grant was established.
Look, I'll just say point blank, I think...
Even though we ran away, can we keep going through the 14 points? All right, we can finish them off. Let's finish them off. Rampant sexism. The governments of fascist nations tend to be almost exclusively male-dominated. Under fascist regimes, traditional gender roles are made more rigid. Opposition to abortion is high, as is homophobia and anti-gay legislation and national policy. He meets number 5 as well. So far, we're 5 for 5. Trump meets all 5. Number 6. Controlled mass media. Sometimes the media is directly controlled by the government, but in other cases, the media is indirectly controlled by government regulation or sympathetic media spokespeople and executives. Censorship, especially in wartime, is very common. He meets this one. Obsession with national security. Fear is used as motivational tool by the government over the masses. This one, if you say that he doesn't make this, you're an absolute fucking liar. Religion and government are intertwined. Governments in fascist nations tend to use the most common religion in the nation as a tool to manipulate public opinion. Religious rhetoric and terminology is common from government leaders, even when the major tenets of the religion are diametrically opposed to the government's policies or actions. You just saw this with Koofs. You just saw this with Koofs. Number 9, corporate power is protected. The industrial and business aristocracy of a fascist nation often are the ones who put the government leaders in power, creating a mutually beneficial business-government relationship with the power elite. You saw all of the billionaires at inauguration. Trump surrounds himself with billionaires. He meets this one to a T. Labor power is suppressed. Because the organizing power of labor is the only real threat to a fascist government, labor unions are either eliminated entirely or severely suppressed. Trump is the most anti-union president in American history. He has been actively dismantling the labor laws. Disdain for the intellectuals and the arts. Fascist nations tend to promote a tolerant and tolerate open hostility to higher education. This one goes without being said, and academia. It is not uncommon for professors and other academics to be censored or even arrested. Free expression in the arts is openly attacked, and governments also often refuse to fund the arts. We see this with Harvard and Columbia University. Number 12, obsession with crime and punishment. Under fascist regimes, the police are given almost limitless power to enforce laws. He just signed an executive order that gives the police more power. The people are often willing to overlook police abuses and even forgo civil liberties in the name of patriotism. You see that right now with people saying that they're okay with getting rid of due process. There is often a national police force with virtually unlimited power in fascist nations. That's ICE. Number 13, rampant cronyism and corruption. Fascist regimes almost always are governed by groups of friends and associates who appoint each other to government positions and use governmental power and authority to protect their friends from accountability. It is not uncommon in fascist regimes for national resources and even treasures to be appropriated or even outright stolen by government leaders. He meets this one. And finally, fraudulent elections. Sometimes elections in fascist nations are a complete sham. Other times elections are manipulated by smear campaigns against or even assassination of opposition candidates, use of legislation to control voting numbers and political district boundaries, and manipulation of the media. Fascist nations also typically use their judiciaries to manipulate or control elections. He already tried to put through a fraudulent elector scheme in 2020, and he's going to try again. So, yeah, Donald Trump meets all 14 qualifications of fascism as written by Dr. Lawrence Britt in the spring of 2003, before Trump was even a thought. Donald Trump is a fascist. Facts don't care about your feelings. Oh, Julian, you came back.
The best tool that
you missed it, brother.
In New Jersey are telling.
We proved Trump meets all 14 qualifications of a fascist, and you conveniently left during it.
I would say that you're controlling 95% of the border without a wall right now. So that's an argument that maybe you don't need a wall, you need a willpower. And I give President Trump great compliments, for what he's done and what you have done. I mean, 95% of the control, no new bill, no new money. Now, I'm not saying no new money is needed. I think you need more border patrol, and you're going to need more money for that. But I think it should be within reason. Now, if I were in charge of the border, though, and I wanted immediate control and I wasn't quite there yet, I would put 100 helipads down, concrete, about 50 yards by 50 yards, and I'd put 100 helicopters along the border every 10 miles, and I'd simply use technology to patrol.
No, he doesn't. Julian, you conveniently left while we went through all of the 14 qualifications, and he did meet all 14 qualifications. You are incorrect. It's not my fault that you ran away while we covered the rest of them. You tucked your tail in between your legs and you ran away like a coward. He meets all 14 qualifications. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Control the border, and I'd pick anybody and everybody up who crosses the border illegally with the helicopters. And I think you could do that, and you probably do it for $500 million versus $46 billion. So I know the wall has a great symbolic value.
He meets around 9 of the traits, but that is just his personality. So you're saying his personality is just fascist. But again, now that you're here, try not to run away this time, you fucking pussy. Why don't you tell me which ones he doesn't meet? Which one does he not meet? And I want you to prove to me that he doesn't meet it. Which qualification does he not meet? Let's go through it. Try and be a brave boy. I know that's really difficult for you because you were raised by cowards, but just try to be a big, brave boy, Julian. It's going to be really hard for you. Just try. Which one of these does he not meet? Try to be a big, brave boy. I know it's not in your nature, but come on, try. He didn't even meet the second qualification. Okay, so let's go through this. You tell me how he doesn't meet this. Because of fear of enemies and the need for security, the southern border, the invasion of the southern border, the people in fascist regimes are persuaded that human rights can be ignored in certain cases because of need, such as due process. The people tend to look the other way or even approve of torture, summary executions, assassinations, and long incarcerations of prisoners. So you're saying that Trump isn't sending illegal immigrants to a slave labor camp in El Salvador without due process? Are you saying that he's not doing that? Are you saying that he's not doing that? Don't run away this time. Try to be a brave boy. I know your first instinct is to run away from any sort of confrontation, but please just try to argue your case. How does Trump not meet the second qualification of fascism when he is advocating for long incarcerations of prisoners by sending U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador? Trump is not a fascist by any sense. No, he is, Chenvala. He meets all 14 qualifications of fascism as written by Dr. Lawrence Britt in 2003. He meets all 14 of these. Facts don't care about your feelings, you baby back bitch boy. Where'd you go, Julian? Did you run again? Did you run away again? I won't be surprised if you did. I will be surprised if you actually stay. Didn't Biden let our border get invaded? So, Julian, try to answer the question instead of avoiding it like the pussy that you naturally are. Please tell me how he doesn't meet the qualification of supporting long incarcerations of prisoners, getting rid of due process for illegal immigrants, and sending U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador. He's sending hardcore criminals over there? No, he said he wants to send U.S. citizens over there, which is a direct violation of the Constitution. Did you know that? Did you know that, Julian, that he wants to send U.S. citizens there? Did you know that? Or are you unaware of this? Did you know that? Did you know that, Julian? We can fight real fascists. We are fighting real fascists. I'm not calling everybody fascist, Chinvala. I'm calling fascists fascists. So, Julian, what about the part where Trump said he wants to deport U.S. citizens to the slave labor camp in El Salvador? What about that part? That's a direct violation of the Constitution. That's exactly the second qualification. He's just messing around with you. You really think he's going to send U.S. citizens? Be serious? Yeah, I do. You want to know why? Because I fucking know what I'm talking about.
You mentioned that you're open to deporting individuals that aren't foreign aliens but are criminals to El Salvador. Does that include potentially U.S. citizens, fully naturalized Americans?
If they're criminals and if they hit people with baseball bats over their head that happen to be 90 years old, and if they rape 87-year-old women in Coney Island, Brooklyn, yeah, that includes them. What, do you think there's a special category of person? They're as bad as anybody that comes in. We have bad ones too, and I'm all for it because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security. And we have a huge prison population. We have a huge number of prisons, and then we have the private prisons, and some are operated well, I guess, and some aren't. But he does a great job with that. We have others that we're negotiating with too. But no, if it's a homegrown criminal, I have no problem. Now, we're studying the laws.
There. So you just heard it from the horse's mouth. He wants to send U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador. That is a direct violation of the Constitution. That is a violation of the 5th and 14th Amendment of the United States. You don't care at all because you're an anti-American treasonous bastard and you're okay with violating the Constitution as long as the orange man says it's okay. So, yeah, no, you're a fascist. So, now that we have agreed that he meets the second qualification, could you please name another one that he doesn't meet? Here, which one doesn't he meet? Because you were wrong, he does meet the second qualification. What other one do you claim he doesn't meet? What happened to martial law, Chris? It's May and is nowhere to be seen. Yeah, because on April 20th, Trump was given a report telling him whether or not he should invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. Do you know what that report said, Shinvala? What did the report say on whether he should invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807 that was delivered to him on April 20th? What did the report say, Shinvala? No one knows. Exactly. And isn't it interesting that he then passed 2 executive orders, one of them preparing the military to take over a 137-mile-long swath of land in New Mexico, and the other one to give the police the ability as the military to extend their use of force and prepare the National Guard to be engulfed by the entire federal government. Or, oh wait, you probably didn't read those executive orders because you don't read, right? You probably didn't read those executive orders because you don't read, do you? You said it happened on April 20th, and now you're backtracking? Oh, I'm so grateful he didn't invoke the Insurrection Act. I'm very grateful. He probably still fucking will. That's why he's preparing for it. That's why he's been signing executive orders, sending the military to all 50 states, engulfing the National Guard. Do you read? Do you read? Anyway, Anyway, let's keep going with Julian. No, he doesn't meet 2. You're incorrect, Julian. Your opinion means nothing. He does meet number 2. So let's move on to the next one, because you're confident in lying. Move on to the next one. What other one does he not meet? Because we've already agreed that you are lying and he does meet the second one because you're a fucking coward and you refuse to admit when you're wrong. But please tell me what other ones he does not meet according to you. These are outdated. Yep, and he still meets all 14 of them. So which other one, Julian Perez, does he not meet? Which other qualification of fascism does he not meet? Come on, Julian. Rampant sexism, not Trump. Really? The governments of fascist nations tend to be almost exclusively male-dominated. Under fascist regimes, traditional gender roles are made more rigid. Opposition to abortion is high, as is homophobia and anti-gay legislation and national policy. Are you actually about to argue that he doesn't mean this, or are you just fucking brain dead? Are you genuinely about to argue that Donald Trump his regime is not almost exclusively male-dominated with traditional gender roles, opposition to abortion, and homophobia? You're telling me he doesn't meet this, and you're living in the same country that I'm living in? You're serious? You're serious? Are you serious, Julian? He literally has women as his Secretary of Homeland Security. Yeah, it says almost exclusively male-dominated, you fucking idiot. And can you read the rest of it? Traditional gender roles are made more rigid. Opposition to abortion is high, as is homophobia and anti-gay legislation and national policy. Are you claiming that he doesn't meet this part here? Are you claiming that Donald Trump is not trying to reinforce traditional gender roles, that there is not massive opposition to abortion, and he is not anti-homosexual? Are you going to claim these things? Are you really going to claim these things? Really? This is the hill you're going to die on. This is the hill you're going to die on, Julian? That Trump doesn't do this? You're confident in this? Labor power being suppressed is not it. Yes, it is. Donald Trump is the most anti-union president who has ever existed. He has passed more legislation limiting the power of unions than any president in American history. You are completely and totally incorrect. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. You're incorrect. I'm an expert in this, dude. I've read all the books. Brother, your grammar is so fucking bad, I don't believe that you could read the first page of a book, let alone all the books. You're an idiot. You have terrible grammar. No shot you've read, like The Color, all the books. Are you fucking... Who do you think you're going to convince here? We have 2 genders and that's it. Trans women are men. Simple as that. Okay, so you do agree. He does meet that one. I'm glad you finally admit that he does meet the traditional gender role. It's okay. Okay. So now you've admitted that 2 of the qualifications you claim he doesn't meet, that he does meet. So what's the third one that you're going to claim he doesn't meet and he does in fact meet? What's the next one? Grammar is not a thing to judge on. It is when you claim that you've read all the books and you don't even know how to fucking spell. You uneducated fucking rat. You don't even know how to spell, and you're claiming that you've read all the books. There are only two genders, simple. Yeah, so whatever your opinion on that doesn't really matter to the point that's at hand, which is that you are admitting that he does reinforce traditional gender roles. He is extremely opposed to abortion. Same thing with homophobia and anti-gay legislation. So he does meet all of these. Thank you for admitting. Thank you for admitting that. Yeah, a lib defo made this. So this was made in 2003 by Dr. Lawrence Britt, and this is the thing. That was before Trump was even a thought. And the thing is, we're critiquing fascism right now. And the fact that you're getting angry that this is fascism means you're a fascist. This is just simply what fascism is by the most renowned fascist expert on planet Earth. And you're getting angry because it's like holding a mirror to you. Yeah, this was definitely written by a liberal. This is why I tell you you're a fascist. Because we're pointing out fascist ideology and you're getting triggered. Una mattina mi sono alzato. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi son svegliato. E ho trovato l'invasor. You're the Marxist-Leninist. Quick, Shinvala, what's Marxist-Leninism? Don't Google it. Tell me what it is. Because I know what you're doing. You're using that as a talking point, a buzzword, because you don't know what Marxist-Leninism is, but you've been spoon-fed so much propaganda that you will label any of your ideological enemies as communist, Marxist, Leninist, Chinese spies. Real quick, tell me. Okay, what's communism, Shinvala? What's communism? Don't Google it. Don't Google it. Close that tab. What is communism? What's the What's communism? Is communism when everyone's poor? What's communism? Come on, big brave boy. Tell us, Shinvala. What's communism? You answered real quick earlier, and now you're going real slow. You're going real slow, Shinvala. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All things are owned by the government and communes. Okay, so here's my question. Do you think I'm a communist? Do you think I'm a communist? Yes, by definition. Oh, I'm not a communist, though. So what are we going to do now? That I'm telling you I'm not a communist, I'm a democratic socialist. What are we going to do now? Oh, guaranteed he's going to say socialism is communism. Guaranteed. Do you think democratic socialism and communism are the exact same political ideology? Is that what you think? You don't know what socialism is, do you? Workers control the means of production. Yes. Yes. So do you, again, I'm asking you, do you think that socialism and communism are the same ideology? Come out and show us, brave boy. Show you what? Okay, so Shanvala says yes, he thinks socialism is communism. Okay, you're proving my point. You're too stupid to have this conversation. You confidently just said that you believe that socialism and communism are the exact same thing, which means you don't know what either of those things are. They are two different ideologies. There's no point in even continuing the conversation. You're too stupid. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. it's just less communism, simple? No, it's not. These are two completely different political ideologies. You don't know the difference. That's not my fault. That is your fault. That is your fault. Yeah, you learned it here, folks. Socialism is communism. You heard it here.
I just want you to know this is not a gotcha. I'm hoping that I misunderstand.
And he reverted to the chanting. Trump 2028, MAGA, 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 let's go. Yeah, dude, of course. You all revert to the chanting. You're like fucking sheep, all wearing the same red hat. MAGA, 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 MAGA. Like, dude, I can't help you, bro. You're a fucking cultist. Nobody can help you.
About, you know, placebos exist, placebo-controlled trials exist in the existing vaccine approval process. Are you suggesting something different than that?
There are placebo-controlled trials, Senator. And by the way, my uncle, Ted Kennedy, in 1975, held the hearings that ended.
I can't listen to him. His voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard. I simply cannot listen to him.
Without access to food. People died because of those actions. Mothers, fathers, and children. Tons of emergency...
Shinvala says, yeah, I got my hat on and a flag. What are you going to do about it? It's called fashion. It's called fashion. Yeah, dude, with your red MAGA hat, your Trump flag behind you, bet you changed your fucking Call of Duty clan tag to Trump. Yeah, dude, thank you. You're proving my point. You're in a cult. You're in a cult, bro. I got the hat. I got the fan called fashion, bro. Why are you worshiping a politician, you boot-licking cuck? You have a homoerotic relationship with a 78-year-old man. You probably call him daddy, you fucking loser.
Food that could have saved their lives was left rotting in warehouses because you and Elon Musk refused to let USAID do its job. Sudan is a country where, by the administration's own determination, a genocide is unfolding in Darfur. But here's where it goes from cruel to despicable. While cutting off food aid to Sudanese families living through an actual genocide, you're fast-tracking white South Africans for refugee status under a manufactured claim that they are the victims of genocide. You tried to block the admission of individuals who had already been approved to come here as refugees while making bogus claims to justify granting such status to Afrikaners.
There it is. Trump is your daddy, though. That's my point. Shinvala, you have a homoerotic relationship with a 78-year-old man. You're calling a 78-year-old politician daddy. That's the gayest shit I've ever fucking heard, dude. Are you deep in the closet? It's okay. This is a safe space to come out of the closet. There's nothing wrong with being gay. But why do you have such a gay tendency towards Donald Trump? Why are you calling a grown man daddy, first of all? Second of all, a politician daddy. And third of all, a 78-year-old politician daddy. Why are you calling him daddy? It's okay to be gay, Shinvala. Are you gay? It's okay to be gay. You can come out of the closet here. This is a safe space. No one's going to make fun of you for being gay. So you admit, you say you're gay for Donald Trump? You call him daddy? You're gay for Trump? Shinvala, you're gay for Trump? No, never will be? Then why do you call him daddy? Because, like, my girlfriend calls me daddy when I'm fucking her brains out. Why do you call Donald Trump daddy? I don't understand. What is the point of calling Donald Trump daddy? Massive W for Shinvala for coming out of the closet in a fucking YouTube chat. A YouTube live chat. He's a father figure to a lot of us. So you call a grown-ass 78-year-old politician daddy? You're confident in this. You are proud to call this man daddy. You call this man daddy? I look up to him. So again, I look up to a lot of people. I don't call them daddy. So my question is, why do you have homoerotic tendencies with him? Why do you call him daddy? Why do you call a 78-year-old politician daddy? Are you gay? Are you gay? Is that it? It's a joke. I look up to him because he says no drugs, no smoking, and drinking, valuable life lessons. Yeah, plenty of people. I agree. No smoking, no drinking, valuable life lessons. Yeah, no, plenty of people say that stuff. I don't call them daddy. So I'm going to ask you again, why do you call a 78-year-old politician, the president of the United States, daddy? You also claim you don't worship this man and that you're not in a cult. Why do you call him daddy? Why do you call him daddy? Huh? It's a joke, dude. Calm down. Don't mean nothing. Well, you're calling him daddy. So, Chris, you're telling me you would vote for Kamala over Trump? Yeah, and I did. Kamala Harris was a dog shit candidate. She didn't even get primaried in, and she was still a better choice than the fascist in chief. Yeah. I can't wait to see Shenvala at Pride Month. Got to put on Avenue Q to make sure he understands it's okay to be gay. It's totally fine to be gay. Shenvala is gay for Trump. He calls him daddy. He has these weird sexual fantasies about him. It's weird, but everybody's entitled to their own kinks. He may not do substances, but he definitely abuses women. Donald Trump has been addicted to Sudafed since the 1980s, dude. This is documented. He takes uppers. Now, is it prescribed by a doctor? Yes. But he still does drugs. Stop your corn addiction. What? First of all, this isn't TikTok. You can say the word porn. But second of all, why are you bringing up porn addiction out of nowhere? This is the biggest self-report I've seen today. Nobody even said the word porn. You are like really projecting right now, dude. So you are addicted to gay porn and you call Donald Trump daddy. And because you are a degenerate, you want to push your ideologies onto everybody else. Because you think daddy is a thing to be said? What? Brother, I don't think daddy's a thing to be said from porn. I think daddy's a thing to be said in bed because when I'm fucking, bitches call me daddy. That's what the fuck we're talking about, bro. That's what this is. What the fuck are we talking about? You hear daddy and bad thing? No, dude, you're calling Donald Trump daddy. That's a homoerotic tendency with a 78-year-old man. You are the one calling him daddy. That is a sexual connotation. It's a whole big misunderstanding. No, it isn't. You call Trump daddy. That's fucking gay, dog. That's gay. Not gay as in it's bad, but gay as in actually gay. That's gay. That's gay. I will never be gay. You are gay. You called Donald Trump daddy and you said you're addicted to gay porn. You are gay, Shenvala. I'm a conservative? Yeah, like most other fucking conservatives, you're closeted. Yes, you're gay. That's fine. That's fine, dude.
You've made a mockery of our country's refugee process, turning it into a system of global apartheid where political ideology and race.
Nah, I'm normal. Yeah, I'm not saying you're abnormal. I'm saying you're gay.
Matter. And while you've turned away from a genocide in Sudan and invented one in South Africa, you teamed up with President Trump to throw the Ukrainian people under the bus and have been played like a fiddle by Vladimir Putin. Of course, Donald Trump not only said he would end the war in Ukraine on day one, he also said he would end the war in Gaza on day one. And yet last week, you were all running around to Gulf states, giving away very sensitive American AI and chips technology, but doing nothing to end the war in Gaza and get the remaining hostages returned. You know that for 78 days, the Netanyahu government did not allow a scrap of food to enter Gaza to reach over 2 million civilians. 57 children have died from malnutrition so far, and more than 14,000 children are in imminent danger of dying of starvation.
Trump will end all
As
the wars.
Cindy McCain said,
oh yeah, like he said he would end the war in Ukraine on day one, didn't. Like he said he would end the genocide in Gaza on day one, didn't. Like he said we were going to go to war in Panama. Like he said we were going to go to war in Greenland. Like he said we were going to go to war in Gaza. Like he said we were going to go to war in Mexico. Like he said we were going to go to war in Canada. Yeah, you mean like he said we're going to send boots on the ground and invade Iran. You're talking about like the biggest warmonger in the past 20 years. He quite literally puts George W. Bush to shame. Yeah, no, the peaceful dove. You're right.
Last week, and I quote, "Families in Gaza are starving while the food they need is sitting at the border." That is a gross violation of both U.S. and international law. What did you do? Nothing. Not once did you publicly call upon the Netanyahu government to end the blockade. Fortunately, other countries spoke out, and now we see a tiny trickle going in. Where have you focused your energy instead, Mr. Secretary? Well, your first trip as Secretary of State was to El Salvador, not to promote democracy, but to cozy up to President Bukele, who calls himself the world's
Israel is defending herself? Oh, so Israel killing over 200,000 civilians, most of which women and children, is a form of defense after losing 1,200 people on October 7th? So when 1,200 people are murdered, the appropriate response is to kill 200,000 civilians? It's a war? No, it's a genocide. So Shinvala, there's between 30 and 40,000 members of Hamas in Palestine. Why did Israel kill 200,000 civilians? Why did Israel kill 200,000 civilians if there's only 30 to 40,000 members of Hamas? They hide behind them. Okay, so Shinvala, if a terrorist took your mom hostage, would it be okay for me to shoot through your mother in order to kill the terrorist? Would that be okay? Would that be okay, Shinvala? Because we got to get the big bad. We got to get the bad terrorist. And they're using your mom as a human shield, so we ought to just shoot right through her, right? Is that okay? They think the civilians are gone. No, they don't. That's a lie. So, again, Shinvala, if your mom was taken hostage, can I shoot through her to get the terrorist? Would that be okay, Shinvala? Morning, Beat Dog Renner. Shinvala, answer the question. Come on, Shinvala. Terrorists took your mother hostage. Is it okay for me to shoot through them? They tell them to leave. They don't, not Israel's fault. Okay, so I'm going to ask you again because you're being such a coward and avoiding the question. If a terrorist took your mother hostage, can I shoot through her to get the terrorist? Is that okay by you? Is that okay? Is that okay? Try answering the question. Try not being a coward. It'll be fun. It'll be a fun experiment for you. It'll be new. No? Oh, okay. So you don't think it's okay when Israel kills civilians in order to get terrorists? Or it is okay because you're not involved? Hi, Beans. They don't? Okay, so you're just a liar. Got it.
dictator. The result was a cash for collusion deal to deprive people living in America of their constitutional rights to due process. The Supreme Court, in a 9-0 decision, instructed you to facilitate the return to the United States of Abrego Garcia, who the administration admitted was wrongfully
200K is
deported.
not the right number. You're right. That's a low estimation. It's probably closer to 250,000 people. Dude, this is what I do for a living. I am far more educated than you. I read all fucking day. This is what I do for a living. It's not your fault that you are this uneducated. It is partially fault of the American education system and the propaganda machine. But yeah, 200,000 is a low number.
To El Salvador. Your response? You've openly flouted judicial orders. When asked whether you have been in touch with El Salvador to return Abrego Garcia, you boasted, quote, "I would never tell you that." And you know who else I would never tell? A judge.
Well, the German civilians died too, but it was justified. So are you now advocating for the slaughtering of German civilians too? Because here's the thing, I understand that America and the Allies were on the right side of history, but we committed heinous war crimes such as the firebombing of Dresden, which incinerated 200,000 people to death. That is still heinous and was evil. Are you now going to go back to World War II and say, no, it's also okay when we slaughter civilians back then? So you're just okay with the slaughtering of civilians in general. You think it is okay to slaughter civilians, right? That's what you're saying. You just said it's okay today, and now you're saying it was okay during World War II as well. Copy that, dude. I can't believe you admitted that.
Clearly, you don't care about the Fifth Amendment right to due process, and you don't care about the First Amendment either, since you've been very busy snatching students off of college campuses for exercising.
Yes, I have a bachelor's degree with a major in history and a minor in political science. This is quite literally what I studied. This is what I do for a living. This is what pays the bills.
Their right to free speech. You dredged up a relic from the McCarthy era to claim that student protesters posed a threat to the foreign policy of the United States. Give me a break, Mr.
What about
Secretary.
Japan, Chris? Is that justified? What are you asking me? What about Japan? What are you asking me? You can't say, what about Japan? Is that justified? Japan's a fucking nation. What are you talking about?
You know as well as I do, this isn't about national security. It's about punishing free speech. And you know that in America, the government doesn't get to use its power to punish speech it doesn't like. Yet in March, you boasted about
the atomic
revoking
bombs?
student.
Are you asking me if it was justified for us to drop 2 atomic bombs on civilian areas? No, it wasn't justified. The Japanese were in the process of surrendering because the Soviets invaded their island from the north. They had written in their fucking surrender treaty that if the Russians invaded, we will surrender because they can't hold the island. At the same time, we fucking bombed them to show the Soviets that we were capable and willing of doing it. Dropping the atomic bombs in Japan had absolutely nothing to do with Japan. Holy fuck, dude. Do you know no history? Are you about to say that they weren't going to surrender? Are you about to say that they weren't going to surrender and that's why we dropped the second one? Literally American propaganda that was written in the fucking 1940s and you're falling for it? They had samurai code. They would have never have surrendered. The most racist talking point of the 1940s. In the fucking year of our Lord 2025, I can't even deal with that shit, dude. They would not have surrendered. They literally said they were going to surrender because the Russians were invading from the north. You're wrong. This is documented history. You're fucking wrong. What the fuck are you talking about? Holy shit. I'm sure I know more history than you do. You don't. I have a degree in history. You don't. I probably know more history on my fucking pinky toe than you do. I guarantee that. I follow America. No, you don't. No, you don't. You've forsaken the Constitution. You're okay with deporting U.S. citizens to a slave labor camp in El Salvador. You're okay with Trump having a third term, despite that being a violation of the 22nd Amendment. You're okay with getting rid of due process, even though that's in the Fifth Amendment. You are not for America. You are for Donald Trump. You're a bootlicking cultist. You're a beta baby back bitch. Sorry. We can bend the rules a little to get bad peep-pope out. Yeah, bro. Copy that.
Visa saying, and I'm quoting, "We do it every day. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa," unquote. Let's look at one of those lunatics, Mr. Secretary, Ms. Ozturk. Her crime was co-authoring an op-ed in her college paper critical of Tufts University's response to the war in Gaza. Your own department found zero links to terrorism, no anti-Semitic statements, but you still yanked her visa and shipped her off to detention in Louisiana. And the list goes on and on. The federal judge in the case of Mohsen Madawi, who was the Columbia student who was ambushed by federal agents at his citizenship appointment, said, and I quote, this is the judge, "Legal residents not charged with crimes or misconduct are being arrested and threatened with deportation for stating their views on the political..."
I'll listen to Trump, the truth teller, not a Marxist Trattori like the likes of you. Okay.
Issues of the day. Our nation has seen times
Peace
like
out,
this
J.D.
before,
Dubois.
especially during the Red Scare and Palmer raids. Like the McCarthy-era witch hunts of the 1950s, your campaign of fear and repression is eating away at foundational values of our democracy.
Do you think actual Republicans have denounced their support for Trump, or are they too far gone? Of course they have, dude. Trump isn't a Republican. The Republican Party is dead and gone. Republicans fucking hate this man. This is not the Republicans. These are maggots.
Back then, it took one voice, Attorney Joseph Welch, to cut through the hysteria with the simple question.
Oh my God, he resorted to all caps. MAGA-land! Yeah, dude, you actually have the brain of like an 11-year-old.
The beginning of the end of that shameful era. He asked Senator McCarthy, "Have you no sense of decency?" And I would ask you the same, Secretary Rubio. You have shown through your words and your actions what the answer is. And I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State.
Fuck yeah.
I yield back.
I want to respond.
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job, based on what I know.
Well, that's just
your
a
record and
flippant
what you
statement,
stand.
Mr. Congress, for 15 years.
We are recording this. He just gave him a beat down.
Less dependent, their system of generating electricity. It's a fundamental problem for multiple countries, for example, in Europe. It's not just the energy they need now, it's the energy they're going to need in the years to come. If you do an audit of where they're going to wind up needing, they don't have any way to generate that now unless they rely on things like U.S. exports of LNG. And that alone even won't be enough. They're going to have to find some other resources as well.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mr.
Okay. We're going to cover this. What is up, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs? Welcome to the Valenti VOD. I'm your perfect and humble leader, Chris Valenti. Marco Rubio just got fucking demolished on the Senate floor. You know, Rubio is testifying because of like the State Department budgets and how he's not doing his job because he's horrified of being fired by Trump. I don't know if you know this, but Marco Rubio and Elon Musk are at direct odds with each other because Marco Rubio is supposed to be in charge of USAID, but Doge has just gutted it entirely. That's why they were having like a screaming match with each other. But little Marco, who actually is a spineless fucking loser, he doesn't have the balls to stand up to the world's richest man, Elon Musk, the Fuhrer. But he's finally being grilled by the Senate Foreign Relations hearing, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and they just made him look like a fucking fool. And I want you to watch it. We're going to watch it together. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. And remember, this is real independent media. I have no funding, okay? I've never had a conversation with an advertiser or a billionaire or a government. So if you do want to support the channel financially, which I really do need, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You could become a patron on Patreon for $5. Massive shout out to the patrons. You could become a member on YouTube for $5. Massive shout out to the members. You could buy some of this dope-ass Valenti Videos merch located right down below, and you can use a 40% off discount code for the Vantage subscription on Ground News, also located in the description down below. Without further ado, let's watch Marco Rubio get his asshole ripped apart. Not in a gay way, but in a political way.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Brasso. Senator Van Hollen.
Senator Van Hollen, by the way, is the one doing this, and Senator Van Hollen is the Maryland senator who went all the way to El Salvador to meet with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. It's kind of like his moment to fame.
Mr. Secretary, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, you and I served together in Congress for 15 years. We didn't always agree, but I believe we shared some common values. A belief in defending democracy and human rights abroad, and honoring the Constitution at home.
Yep.
That's why I voted to confirm you.
Not so much.
I believed you would stand up for those principles. You haven't. You've done the opposite. And you used to speak with conviction about the importance of foreign aid as a tool to advance American values and interests.
Real quick, guys, I want to explain something about the policy of guns and roses, right? Imperialism comes in two forms, guns and roses, right? We will send the military to somewhere like Iraq and Afghanistan to slaughter 2 million civilians, and that's a way of establishing imperial control. Another way of establishing imperial control is through roses, through things like USAID, giving Ebola treatment and HIV medicine and water purification tablets to poor nations in Africa. It's a way to establish a foothold in that nation, make them reliant on American medicine, and develop a good relationship with the leaders there. What the Trump regime has decided to do is completely scrap the entire idea of roses and add $1 trillion to the military budget so that we can just go from guns and roses to a fucking bazooka and a dead rose. That's the Trump regime, okay? A warmongering, sycophantic Nazi regime that wants to invade Gaza, Greenland, Panama, Mexico, Canada, what the fuck else? Did I say Greenland? I fucking did.
Then you stood by while Elon Musk took a chainsaw to USAID and other assistance programs. That has left a staggering toll. Broken trust with countries.
Just so you know, guys, also, because of the USAID cuts, it's estimated that 26 million children will die over the next 20 years. Because there is food and medicine sitting in a warehouse with a fucking padlock on it, rotting away. Because the American representative working for USAID that was supposed to be sent there to open the fucking door has been fired by Elon Musk. So let me say this again. The world's richest man, nearly a trillionaire, Elon Musk, is responsible for the deaths of 26 million children. Let me rephrase it one more time. The world's richest man is killing 26 million of the poorest children on planet Earth. And MAGA will support it because they're all inferior. Let's keep watching.
And other adversaries and countless preventable deaths of children and others. Take Sudan, for example. The freezing of U.S. humanitarian assistance forced the closure of nearly 80% of the emergency food kitchens there. 2 million famine-affected people were left without access to food. People died because of those actions. Mothers, fathers, and children. Tons of emergency food that could have saved their lives was left rotting in warehouses because you and Elon Musk refused to let USAID do its job. Sudan is a country where, by the administration's own determination, a genocide is unfolding in Darfur. But here's where it goes from cruel to despicable. While cutting off food aid to Sudanese families living through an actual genocide, you're fast-tracking white South Africans for refugee status under a manufactured claim that they are the victims of genocide.
Oh, you're giving white South Africans refugee status. I can only think of one white South African in the Trump regime, and that's Elon fucking Musk, the Führer of the United States of America and the richest man in human fucking history. You think that is a coinky-dink? Because if you do, I've got a prince in Nigeria who you're actually related to, and all he needs is your social security number in order to send you $50 million, you stupid fuck.
You tried to...
By the way, we just got a donation from Nelson. Nelson Snow just sent 5 memberships out. Congratulations to everybody who just got a membership. W. Nelson, W. Nelson.
Blocked the admission of individuals who had already been approved to come here as refugees while making bogus claims to justify granting such status to Afrikaners. You've made a mockery of our country's refugee process, turning it into a system of global apartheid where political ideology and race, more than truth or need, matter. And while you've turned away from a genocide in Sudan and invented one in South Africa, you teamed up with President Trump to throw the Ukrainian people under the bus and have been played like a fiddle by Vladimir.
To Vladimir Putin. I made a video about this, but if you remember a couple months ago, Ukraine wasn't even invited to the negotiating table. The negotiation table was between the United States and Russia in order to come to terms on a ceasefire. And Trump was touting, he was like, Ukraine will not get a seat at the table. They should have won this. They shouldn't have started this war. Now, Trump just tweeted on Truth Social, he was like, the negotiations will only be between Russia and Ukraine, the only two parties who could possibly know the deal is a negotiation. I thought it was all about the art of the deal, Donald. I thought you were like the negotiating king. Oh, wait, never mind. You bankrupted a casino because you're a fucking moron who relies on daddy's money. Small loan of $1 million, right? You fucking fail, son. Your dead brother Fred was the better one. Fuck you.
Donald Trump not only said he would end the war in Ukraine on day one, he also said he would end the war in Gaza on day one. And yet last week you were all running around to Gulf states giving away very sensitive American AI and chips technology, but doing nothing to end the war in Gaza and get the remaining hostages returned. You know that for 78 days, the Netanyahu government did not allow a scrap of food to enter Gaza to reach over 2 million civilians. 57 children have died from malnutrition so far, and more than 14,000 children are in imminent danger of dying of starvation. As Cindy McCain said last week, and I quote, families in Gaza are starving while the food they need is sitting at the border. That is a gross violation of both U.S. and international law.
They don't give a fuck about that.
What did you do? Nothing. Not once did you publicly call upon the Netanyahu government to end the blockade. Fortunately, other countries spoke out, and now we see a tiny trickle going in. Where have you focused your energy instead, Mr. Secretary? Well, your first trip as Secretary of State was to El Salvador, not to promote democracy, but to cozy up to President Bukele, who calls himself the world's coolest dictator.
President Bukele is quite literally a dictator. He is also on a human rights watch list because CCOT is an extermination camp, and the prisoners in there never see sunlight the entire time they are there until the day that they die.
The result was a cash for collusion deal to deprive people living in America of their constitutional rights to due process. The Supreme Court, in a 9-0 decision, instructed you to facilitate the return to the United States of Abrego Garcia, who the administration admitted was wrongfully deported to El Salvador. Your response? You've openly flouted judicial orders, When asked whether you have been in touch with El Salvador to return Abrego Garcia, you boasted, quote, "I would never tell you that. And you know who else I would never tell? A judge." Clearly, you don't care about the Fifth Amendment right to due process, and you don't care about the First Amendment either, since you've been very busy snatching students off of college campuses for exercising their right to free speech.
Real quick, someone says, can you share the sources in the CCOC claims if you have time? These are claims directly from the El Salvadorian president. These are not secrets. Prisoners in CCOC do not ever step foot outside. This is not a conspiracy. They proudly released this information.
You dredged up a relic from the McCarthy era to claim that student protesters posed a threat to the foreign policy of the United States. Give me a break, Mr. Secretary. You know as well as I do this isn't about national security. It's about punishing free speech. And you know that in America, the government doesn't get to use its power to punish speech it doesn't like.
Well, it does under the Trump regime, because this is a fascist nation now. If you don't support the supreme leader, you will be labeled as an enemy of the state. And the U.S. State Department is directly intertwined with Israel's genocidal actions. So if you stand for Palestinian liberation, that means by definition you are an enemy of the state, according to the United States Defense Department, which is controlled by Marco Rubio. So anybody in this chat, if you've posted any sort of pro-Palestinian stuff, if you've been to a pro-Palestinian movement or a protest or anything like that, you are considered an enemy of the state. The First Amendment is gone!
You boasted about revoking student visas, saying, and I'm quoting, "We do it every day. Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa," unquote. Let's look at one of those lunatics, Mr. Secretary, Ms. Ozturk. Her crime was co-authoring an op-ed in her college paper critical of Tufts University's response to the war in Gaza. Your own department found zero links to terrorism, no anti-Semitic statements, but you still yanked her visa and shipped her off to detention in Louisiana. And the list goes on and on. The federal judge in the case of Mohsen Madawi, who was the Columbia student who was ambushed by federal agents at his citizenship appointment, said, and I quote, this is the judge, "Legal residents not charged with crimes or misconduct are being arrested and threatened with deportation for stating their views on the political issues of the day. Our nation has seen times like this before, especially during the Red Scare and Palmer raids."
Yeah, during the second Red Scare, but we are now living through the third Red Scare, okay? That is what you're going through right now. I made a video about this fucking months ago called "You Are Living Through the Third Red Scare." Go check that out.
Like the McCarthy-era witch hunts of the 1950s, your campaign of fear and repression is eating away at foundational values of our democracy. Back then, it took one voice, Attorney Joseph Welch, to cut through the hysteria with the simple question that marked the beginning of the end of that shameful era. He asked Senator McCarthy, "Have you no sense of decency?" And I would ask you the same, Secretary Rubio. You have shown through your words and your actions what the answer is. And I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
Fucking period, King. He just popped off. Now, here's the better part. Watch Rubio's childlike fucking reaction. Watch this baby back, facial hairless bitch fucking react.
May I respond?
You may, sir.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job, based on what I know.
Well, that's just a flippant statement.
It's a grown man. That's the head of the Department of Defense. We're fucked.
Statement, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may.
I didn't ask.
Senator, please let the Secretary have
I'd be
the floor.
happy to, but then I can respond to his.
Your time's up, Senator, and willfully used, I might add. Your remarks do not represent the view of this committee.
Well, Mr.
Secretary, please.
Well, I'd like to. I can't respond to everything he said because much of these are untrue, but I'll go through a few. First of all, I'm actually very proud of the work we've done with USAID. For example, I don't regret cutting $10 million for male circumcisions in Mozambique. I don't know how that makes us stronger and more prosperous as a nation.
I don't think he understands that circumcision is a thing about genital health and it prevents the spread of diseases that fucking kill people. This is like the same. I bet you he said, like, I don't regret cutting HIV funding in Mozambique. Motherfucker, that's about soft power. They don't understand what soft power is.
Regret psychosocial support services.
I raised Sudan, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond,
Senator, I'd ask you to suspend. You had 7 straight minutes.
I chose to use my time that way, Mr. Chairman. That's my right to
Please
use my
suspend
time that way.
Secretary Rubio.
Well, I can go on. I mean, there's other things here. We spent $227,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel from USAID. We spent $14 million for social cohesion in Mali, whatever the hell that means. So I can go on and on. I got the list here, and there's more. I didn't even bring the whole list. In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. Absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with. And that guy...
Not true whatsoever. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is not a gang member. He's never been charged of a crime. He's not an MS-13. He's not a terrorist. If you're so fucking confident, bring him back and give him due process under the law, prove that he's actually a criminal, and send him to a prison. Why won't you do that, little Marco?
Guy is a human trafficker, and that guy is a gangbanger, and the evidence is going to be clear in the days to come.
Mr. Chairman,
the evidence is going to be clear? Meaning you don't have the evidence and you didn't give him due process? You're admitting it.
Senator,
I'm sorry,
please,
Mr. Chairman.
Secretary
No.
Rubio has the floor.
Mr. Chairman, he can't make unsubstantiated
Senator,
comments like that.
Secretary Rubio has the floor. You had
Secretary
your time.
Rubio should take that testimony to the federal court of the United States because he hasn't done it under oath.
Here's another point, okay? There is a division in our government between the federal branch and the judicial branch. No judge in the judicial branch cannot tell me or the president how to conduct foreign policy. No.
Oh, okay, so the Supreme Court is meaningless. The Supreme Court is moot. Democracy is gone, and you are in a fucking dictatorship? Is that what you're saying? No federal judge can tell the United States president how he can operate? Then that's not a president. That's a fucking dictator.
No judge can tell me how I have to outreach to a foreign partner or what I need to say to them. And if I do reach to that foreign partner and talk to them, I have under no obligation to share that with the judiciary branch. Just like a judge cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister of Russia, they cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister or the president of El Salvador. And if I did negotiate with them, which we have responded to them, and we've told them we've had communications with the president of El Salvador, I am under no obligation under our division of powers in this country and to share with the judicial branch how I conducted diplomacy of the United States. It would actually be counterproductive. If I started sharing with courts, or frankly, with the media, my conversations with foreign leaders and all of their details, no foreign leader would talk to me again. And we would break trust with them. So I have complied with every court order.
Shit.
What I won't comply with is an order to disclose what I'm saying and what we're talking about with a foreign leader, because then they won't talk to me. Diplomacy doesn't work that way. About the student visas, let me say this. I don't deport anybody, and I don't snatch anybody. The State Department does not have officers in the street snatching everybody.
I'm just following orders, Commandant. I was just simply following orders. It was not up to me. I was not the one throwing them into the camps. I was just in charge of the Gestapo.
What I do is revoke visas, and it's very simple. A visa is not a right. It is a privilege. People apply for student visas to come into the United States and study. And if you tell me that you're coming to the United States to lead campus crusades, to take over libraries and try to burn down buildings and acts of violence, we're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what Ms. Ostork did?
We're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what she did? Come on, Mr. Secretary.
And every single one of these cases, the factors are different.
Senator,
the bottom line is, if you're coming here to stir up trouble on our campuses, we will deny you a visa. And if you have a
First
visa...
Amendment
you hear that, guys? If you protest, you will have your visa revoked.
Find you, we'll revoke it.
In the United States?
And we're going to do more. There are more coming. We're going to continue to revoke the visas of people who are here as guests and are disrupting our higher education facilities. People are paying money. These kids pay money to go to school, and they have to walk through a bunch of lunatics
to the
who are here on student visas.
Disrupting the foreign policy of the United States.
I want to do more. I hope we can find more of these people.
That's pathetic, Mr.
In fact,
Secretary.
the other day, some guys led a riot. I forgot what university it was, and I asked, please, can you find the arrest records of all the people that were arrested at that riot at that campus? Because if any of them have a visa, we're going to revoke it.
I feel so much.
See how he calls it a riot? He's talking about pro-Palestinian protests. Anybody and everybody who has participated in a pro-Palestinian protest, your name is on a list. It has been given to Marco Rubio, and the State Department will be coming after you. The First Amendment is gone.
much safer.
All right,
You lock up people like Ms. Osterg, Ms. Secretary.
We've had enough time on the subject. Thank you very much. And we're going to move to Senator Lee.
All right, so listen, if you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, that's all I got for you. Marco Rubio is a spineless, fucking gelatinous worm. He used to actually have some pretty patriotic, pro-American standpoints, but ever since he became a Trump loyalist, he has completely gotten on his knees and throated Donald Trump's orange cock while cradling his fucking balls in his hand. Yeah, Marco Rubio's a little baby back bitch. If you still support him, go fuck yourself with a corkscrew. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing. It helps me immensely. And click that video right over there. I promise you, it's an absolute fucking banger. I'll catch you on the next one. Oh, no, that one was a banger. That one's going up. That one was a banger. Also, I'm going to have to get ready to end the stream, guys. I got to go to the gym very soon. Why is following orders bad, Chris? Koofs, if you were given the order to kill your mother, would you do it? If you were given the order to kill your mother, would you do it? No? Oh, okay. So you understand that just because something's in order doesn't mean that it's morally correct? Thanks for immediately answering your own fucking question, dipshit. Instantly and immediately answered your own question. Yeah, but it's the president. Okay, so if the president gave a soldier the order to kill your fucking family, all of them, would that be okay? Because it's just orders. They're just following orders. Would that be okay with you, Koofs? If Donald Trump ordered somebody to just go kill your entire family, would that be okay? Right? That'd be fine, right? Because it's just following orders. Just following orders. No big deal. No big deal, right, Koofs? Marco Rubio's following good orders. So try answering the question again, you fucking coward. So if Donald Trump gave a soldier the order to kill your entire family, would that be okay because they're just following orders? And you said in the beginning, why is following orders a bad thing? Try answering that, you fucking coward. Try answering. Just try. Try being brave. Hi, Luigi. Well, no, obviously not. Oh, okay. Thank you. So you immediately just you just got rid of your entire talking point. Thank you. So you understand that just because something's in order doesn't mean that it's morally correct. Copy that, brother. Copy that. The cognitive dissonance is fucking unreal. This kid doesn't even know what cognitive dissonance fucking means, guaranteed. Yep, and remember, during the Nuremberg trials, I was just following orders, did not work. They still got charged. But you defend gangs? No, I don't. I don't like gangs. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream in the next, 2 minutes. I got to go. Where's that DEA investigator, buddy? Oh, yeah, no, I can't fucking wait. I can't fucking wait for that. Yeah, you hear Luigi lurking. She's lurking around. Ugh. I got 3 videos to post when I get back. We got some good content for the day. Got some great content for the day. Can we see Beans before you go? Here you go. There he is. Right there. He's still coming for you, just getting evidence. Yeah, bro. Can't wait for your big bad DEA older brother to come snatch me up. You fucking loser. Role playing. Oh my god. When was the last time I got an update from Garcia or Khalil? No idea. We are complying evident. you meant the word compiling, and you spelled evidence wrong twice now. But yeah, bro, yeah, go compile that evidence. Get me arrested. Yeah. My dad does work for Microsoft, and he's going to ban him from Xbox forever. Yeah. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Koofs, thank you for being a dedicated hate watcher and helping me make more money than I do when you're not fucking here. You genuinely are a great help to the channel. We'll be sure to get you a nice cell in CGOT. You meant CCOT. C-E-C-O-T. But again, thank you for proving to everybody that you're a fascist. You're a fascist. You keep saying proudly that you're a fascist. You want me thrown in CCOT. You want me deported. You want me dead. You don't care. You're a fascist. You are my number one fanboy. You help me make the most money. You give me the most content. You help me prove my points. You prove everything I'm saying by giving me an example to show people that there are literal fascists who want their ideological opponents to be sent to a prison camp. No, I'm not. No, Koofs, you are. Chat, don't take my opinion for it. Koofs, sorry, chat, does Koofs help prove all of my points? Don't take my word for it. I'm the voice. Does Koofs help prove all of my points? See? Brother, you literally are doing me a service. You are doing my movement a service by letting me shine a light on your lack of intellect, your lack of integrity, your lack of courage, your lack of balls. Everything you lack is having a light shined on it every time you tune in here. You are doing me such a fucking service. You said you want to off me, you're the fascist. No, I said I hope you choke. That's what I said. And I do hope you choke. You're a proud fascist. Your ideology relies on the death of others. So yeah, I hope you choke. I do. But thank you. You literally do more for me than I do. You help me immensely. Don't try with the yours. The yours are too complex for him. This guy probably doesn't even have a fucking GED. He's not going to be able to understand the difference between the yours or the theirs. Never in a million fucking years. Never in a million fucking years. Thank you for the $2 donation. Evidence for Koof's DEA brother. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Hell fucking yeah. This is why all Dems should be outlawed. Again, proving my point. That's fascist. You're a fascist. You're saying, yeah, thank you. You're proving my point. Again, every time you speak, you're proving my point. You're reinforcing my ideology. Unbelievable. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it here. Thank you for tuning in. I love all my fans. I love you, Koofs. Thank you for being my most dedicated hate watcher. Holy fuck. Got a $20 donation from Missing Space. Money laundering is fun. Oh, shit. Thank you. Thank you for the money. Thank you for the $20 donation. That's going to be spent on transing the youth. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hell fucking yeah. We love that. We love that. W Missing Space. W Missing Space. WW. $27 donation. Have a good one, y'all. Gotta go. Hell fucking yeah. Koof's going, just giving me more evidence. Guys, let's give Koofs as much evidence as we possibly can. Just keep donating money. Let's give him as much evidence as we possibly can so that his big older brother can, at the DEA, can build a case on us. Because the more donations you guys send me, the more evidence his brother has, and we're going to be sent to CCOT. The more money I get, the more likely I am to be sent to CCOT, guys. Come on. Get the money rolling. Get the money rolling. Get the money rolling. Hell fucking yeah, guys. We love that. I was about to leave, dude. But now I'm probably going to make bank. Like a homeless guy begging? I know, dude. Guys, I'm begging you. I'm begging you to send me money so that I can send it on converting God-fearing Christians into Satan-worshipping Leninists. Please send me money so I can turn kids into radical left Marxist Leninists. Please, I'm fucking begging you. I'm going to fucking pass out. I'm going to pass out. I'm going to pass out. Unbelievable. Your fans aren't that rich. I know. They're the average, man. They're the average. They are the average. I love it when you beg. Thank you, Disobedient Avocado 82. I really appreciate that $10 money laundering. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Anyway, now I'm out of here. For real. This is my third goodbye. Bye, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll get those videos posted up later. It'll be great. By the way, this is why, Jack, you do understand we can never ban COOFs, right? Jack, you understand that, right? We can never ban COOFs. You're on board, Jack? Oh, trust me, I know? Fuck yeah. Okay, good. COOFs, thank you. You've helped me make more money this week than I have in other weeks. Thank you, COOFs. All right, guys. Have a good one.